Alright guys, hope you're ready. We've got our very own Worcester doing Pokemon Heart Gold any percent Manipulus. So take it away, Worcester.
Alright, so coming up we've got Pokemon Heart Gold, any percent Manipulus. And since we're running a little bit behind, we're going to get started real quick. So we'll get ready in 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, so firstly a little bit about this category. So as mentioned, this is any percent Manipulus. So that means we're going to be doing any percent, which means beating the game as fast as possible. So this run will be using glitches, but it is going to be Manipulus, which means it will not be using any RNG manipulation. So using RNG manipulation in this game, you can control how good the stats of the Pokemon you get, whether you get wild encounters or not, whether you win the lottery, which is a 1 in 65,536 chance, whether you get Pokerus, and then you use the Master Ball that you get from the lottery to catch a Raikou straight away that also has Manip stats. Oh my goodness, I forgot I have to use the donation incentive, which I believe was name. If it wasn't, well, GG, it's finished its name. My goodness, what was I talking about? Okay, I was talking about RNG manipulation. Yeah, so none of that's happening. And so it changes the rat quite significantly because you cannot use Raikou at all. You can't get the Master Ball. I'm not even going to try to win the lottery. That's just not going to happen. And I'm going to get lots more encounters, and I'm also going to get very random stats. So the first decision that you have to make in this run is what starter Pokemon you're going to choose. So you've got the choice between the Grass type Chikorita, the Fire type Cyndaquil, and the Water type Totodile. So for anyone who has played this game, it won't come as a surprise that we don't pick Chikorita. Chikorita is actually not a bad Pokemon, it's just that Grass is a terrible type for the start of this run. For like the first hour, there are 0 Pokemon that Grass is good against, and about half of the Pokemon Grass is bad against, so it goes straight out of the running. The choice between Cyndaquil and Totodile is a bit closer, and Totodile is actually chosen in Gold and Silver, the original versions of this game. These are the remakes, but in this version we pick Cyndaquil. It's better for basically all of the changes in this game. For example, you have to do Sprout Tower, which has a lot of Grass-type Bellsprouts. Totodile loses its early game advantage by being able to skip Sprout Tower and go straight to Falkner and win. Bugsy is also a more difficult fight in this version, so having the type advantage there is helpful. It's also better for Rival 2 in this version than Totodile, well, Croconaw at that stage. It's the big hurdle point for Croconaw in this run. Rival 2 is just very, very difficult because you get the wrong TM. You get Fury Cutter in the originals, but in this game you get U-Turn, which Croconaw can not learn. So we're going to pick Cyndaquil. So as mentioned, the stats are going to be random. So the way that randomization of stats works is there's 2 factors. One, there's this thing called individual values, often called IVs. I'm just going to give this a 1 character nickname. We'll just call it I. And so that's a value between 0 to 31 that determines how good a stat is. And then there's also the nature. So the nature increases, well, a lot of the natures actually do nothing, but the ones that do something increase one stat by 10% and decrease another by 10%. Unfortunately, because of the way that calculations in Pokemon work, that, especially at the start of the run, is more of a hindrance than a help. Because, for example, if a stat is 11, increased by 10% is plus 1.1, so it goes to 12.1, and then that rounds down to 12, so you get 1 extra stat point. But when it takes away 1.1, it goes from 11 to 9.9, and that still floors down to 9, so you actually end up losing 2 stat points. Of course, some stats are more relevant than others, but all 5, well, I guess 6, all of Cyndaquil's stats do matter. You need to use both physical and special attacks, as well as you get hit by physical and special attacks. You don't get hit by many special attacks, but the one you do is very, very crucial. I should mention, I have actually been awake for about 27 hours, and I was really freaking out. I'm like, why am I talking to my mum? I actually have no idea what I'm doing in this house. I am completely blanking on what I have to do. But I should be fine. So now I'm going to leave town, and I'm going to go into some grass, so this is where I can start to get encounters. So the way encounters works, the too long didn't listen explanation is every grass tile I have a 6% chance of getting an encounter. So the way that works is there are 2 RNG calls. The first one is based on the movement that you're making. So because I'm walking, it's a mod 100 check, so it's just 100%. So it ends up being 20 for walking, and it's 40 for running. So if you run, you have a higher chance of getting an encounter, and if you're on the bike, it's 70. And then the second function is the area check. So most of the grass in Johto, the first area of this game, has an area check of 30 for the grass. In most of Kanto, it's actually 25, so you're more likely to get encounters in Johto. There is some grass in Johto as well that is also 25. And then in waters, caves, and towns, it's usually 10 in Johto, and sometimes 20 in Kanto. I do want to take out one encounter that I come across for experience. Ideally, you actually just don't get any encounters. But if you do get one, you do want to take it out for experience. It just gets you a few of the level thresholds a bit earlier. So it gets you level 10 before one of the Bellsprouts, so you get Ember earlier. Gets you level 7 before the Rattata on the second trainer fight, and also gets you 14 for when you evolve into Quilava right after Falkner. But I just didn't feel like taking out that level 3 Pidgey. It's more ideal to take out a level 2 Pidgey, so kind of just waiting on getting a level 2 Pidgey. Hopefully I get one in the next area before I get to Mr. Pokemon, because it is more ideal to get one before Mr. Pokemon, because he heals you, and you can run out of potions, so it's just more ideal to take the encounter and get healed for any damage that it does. But so yeah, this old man, he's giving me the running shoes, so now I can run. And so running is twice the speed of walking, but as mentioned, the encounter rate goes up for when you're running. So it ends up being faster on average to actually walk through grass, even when you're running. So we're just going to head up here. He's going to come out again. So another thing with encounters that can actually modify the encounter rate is the opposite direction count. So if you turn in an opposite direction to the one you are currently, the last direction you were facing when in an encounter zone, it applies what's called an opposite direction. And if you have multiple of those, that increases the encounter chance of getting an encounter. And so that's a level 2 Pidgey. So I will actually be abusing that at some other stages in the run. But for now, you want to avoid it because you're trying to avoid encounters. You can actually trigger it accidentally. So it's actually a really neat feature that only exists in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, because basically the only time you're going backwards and forwards between grass is when you're hunting for encounters. So basically they made it so if you're trying to get an encounter, you're more likely to get an encounter. But if you're not, you're less likely. And so I think that's a really neat hidden feature that very few people actually know about. But you can trigger it by accident, like I said, because it actually carries over in between patches of grass. And so I'll explain when I get to the next place. So that guy gave me that apricot box. I actually don't need that, but if I don't go into his house and get it, he actually comes out of his house and is like, yo, how did you not notice me? I'm the most important character in the game. And then forces you to get the apricot box. It's entirely useless. So I'm at 3 encounters so far. 3 to 4 is about average getting to Mr. Pokemon. And I got a level 2 Pidgey, which is nice. So we're almost there. You will notice as well, after I get an encounter, I do run for a little bit. The reason for that is the first 3 tiles after getting an encounter, or when entering a new zone, so after a loading screen, you are immune to getting encounters. So because running is faster, it's better to run for those 3 tiles. Pretty self-explanatory. So this is just a little bit of a cutscene. But so if you're paying attention, and you'll notice it when I come back down. So after here, I'm going to backtrack and go back to Cherry Grove Town where I just came from. So the last patch of grass, I was running up as I was going up to this town. Oh, this house. This isn't a town. And so when I leave, I'll be going back down. And so because the last movement that I made before exiting the grass was going up, and the next one that I have is going down, even though I didn't really move in the opposite direction, that will add 1 to the opposite direction count. But 1 doesn't increase the rate. You need to go to 2 before the rate increases, and then 3 also increases, and then 4 also increases. You could technically avoid this one, even if 1 did increase. But you would have to take an extra patch of grass. So because it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. The easiest way to actually trigger it by accident is when you first start the game in the very first patch, because it applies between the patches there, and it automatically starts on up and you move down into the first patch. So you always trigger it to 1 at the start. But if you do the movement right, you do not get it to 2, so it's all good. So now we're going to run down to Rival, who doesn't have a name on the first fight. It's just Passerby Boy, and then you give him the name later to the policeman. I think Dante is still ahead on the rival. Please tell me, Makabi.
I actually just did a $10 in-person donation towards HS Blue. So
oh no!
So that's in the lead by $1.
Alright, so this is the first fight, as I said. So I'm going to use a couple of Leers and then hit him with tackles. There's many different ways you can do this fight in 5 turns. It's very, very rare chance that it will happen, that I'll die. But the reason why using 2 Leers and then 3 tackles is the best is because if you crit on the second tackle, you actually never have him alive on below half health. And after you hit him to below half health, the rival comes out, and you'll see it now because I didn't crit. The rival will come out with this additional text. And so if that second tackle had critical, I could have skipped that text. And so it's just the most efficient way to do that. It also makes it so you've got less chance of missing tackle. Tackle only has 95 accuracy. So here I'm going to check my stats really quickly. That's, I mean, not fantastic, but it's also not terrible. So I will accept that. That was 11, 11, 13, 12, 12. So the defenses are actually pretty good. I'm very happy about the special defense, especially. That hit the threshold. That's really important. Special attack wasn't bad, and special attack is, I guess, the more important one for Cyndaquil. Attack and speed weren't great, but speed is actually probably the least important stat of the 5 on Cyndaquil, which sounds a bit surprising because you always want to be outspeeding things, but even with poor speed, you generally outspeed everything except the only thing that you can outspeed or not with good or bad speed is generally Falkner's Pidgeotto, and you would actually rather, you would rather be slower than it than speed tie with it. So we still at HS Blue.
Boro with the $12 donation towards a little bit more push for Dante to push it over the edge. So Dante is actually in the lead now.
Okay.
By $1.
Okay, and we're doing it right now. So I'm just doing it in all caps because I cannot be bothered. No, that's not how you spell Dante. Okay, thank you. My goodness. Okay. Dante gets in, so Dante is the rival. So the reason I wanted that is it's 1 character less, so it saves like however many frames. So yeah, little cutscene, they accuse you of stealing the Pokemon of the rival who just stole it, and then, oh no, I just realized I was going to do something here, and I have no idea how to do it, so this is going to be fun. Okay, so I'm now going to heal at the PC. So what I wanted to do here is, so the glitch we're doing in this run that's going to be used quite a few times is called tweaking. And so there's a tweak here you can just do for fun that isn't actually faster, that I wanted to do for this marathon. I just realized I did not practice it once, and I have no idea how to do it. So I'm going to try and wing this. It's going to be as soon as I leave the house here. And if it doesn't happen, we'll just pretend that it's all fine. So I think it's about... No, that's wrong. Hang on, let's try that again. I think it's something like that. Let's see what happens. Okay, I got it. That's it. Okay, so there's a catching tutorial here. And so Ethan has come out and he is invisible. And so now he's bringing me in to do the catching tutorial, but you'll notice I just left Cyndaquil behind. So Cyndaquil is just gone. It's completely off screen. So they have a mechanic in this game where they have a Pokemon walk behind you and it always just follows you 1 tile behind. But now Cyndaquil is completely gone and it's off screen. So what do you actually think Cyndaquil is going to do? Is it going to keep mimicking my movement and just be gone by that far? That would be the thing that would make the most sense, right? Because it would be programmed to just completely follow my movement. But that's not going to happen. Cyndaquil is now going to show its supreme power and just walk through walls in order to catch up to me and find me. So you'll see after this catching tutorial. But yeah, this catching tutorial as well, it's why I play as the girl. The counterpart does this catching tutorial, and you want the boy to do it because the girl actually takes longer. She does like a little dance before she starts the catching tutorial, and it takes like 8 seconds. And so it's faster to play as the girl and let the boy do the work. It's all good. So yeah, Cyndaquil is still going to be behind me. Ethan is now visible. And so now I'm actually going to run through the grass as well because I need to find a Sentret to encounter, and then I'm going to catch the Sentret. I'm going to use that for some HMs, specifically for Surf. And so there's Cyndaquil now trying to catch up to me. He's just got back on screen. That's a Pidgey. No good. So the chance of getting a Sentret is 40%. It'll be fine. So now Cyndaquil's like way up here. And there he is. Beautiful. Just comes out of nowhere. So now we're reunited. It's all good. That's another Pidgey, no good. I've also got an encounter on the turn frame here, which is really unfortunate. I'm actually going to try and avoid the turn frame. There we go. I went up one too many tiles, but that's fine. Still don't have the Sentret. Hopefully I can get it before having to hunt for it. There we go. There's the Sentret. Alright. Third encounter, not too bad. At least I didn't have to hunt for it. So I'm going to double tackle this, because I have low attack. Oh no, I've crit it. I don't have to double tackle. Beautiful. Chuck the ball from here. So yeah, I'm going to teach it Surf. It's like the only Pokemon you can encounter with any sort of regularity. I cannot believe that broke out in yellow. That is very unlucky. Try again. I've got 5 balls. If I run out of balls, this is a big yikes because I have to go and buy more balls and then encounter another Sentret. And that'll screw up my money as well. But there we go. Second try. Not too bad. But I'm also probably going to teach it Cut. You can teach Cut to Cyndaquil as well, but it's faster to teach it to Sentret because Sentret only has 2 moves. And it's faster to not teach over a move. So we'll walk from here. Get out. Okay, good. And so now we're going to go to the first non-rival fight of the run. We're going to go to Mikey. Mikey isn't too bad. But yeah, so the first section of this run, the difference between having a good time and a bad time is very largely dependent on how many encounters you get. Once you get to Violet City, which is usually at about the 17-18 minute mark, you shouldn't get any more. There are some places, but you can buy repels, and so repels can make it so that you just don't get encounters anymore. And so that ends up not being a factor. But it's by far the biggest factor from this point, because each encounter is like 11-12 seconds, and that adds up quite a bit. The difference between getting, 20 encounters and 6 ends up being quite significant. So yeah, Mikey. So this fight, pretty simple. His pokes are pretty weak. The Rattata can be a bit of a menace. He's also got random AI, so different trainers have different AI, basically how smart they are, what they're going to do. This guy does not have good AI, so what he does is random. This Pidgey only has Tackle, so it's all just going to use Tackle, but the Rattata has Tail Whip and Quick Attack. Quick Attack's a priority move, so I don't want him to use Tail Whip, lower my defense, and then be spamming Quick Attack, because he can do a decent amount of damage. I have died to this fight before, which seems quite embarrassing, but has happened. I'm also going to hit him with a Leer. It just helps with the chance of getting this in 3 hits. He's gone the Tail Whip. If he goes just all Tail Whip, that's fine, and I take no damage. So that only did 4, that's fine. And he didn't go Quick Attack there, so that's good. As I mentioned before, you get given 5... Oh, I actually didn't mention that you get given 5 potions, but you do. And I want those potions to hold me until I get to the mart after Falkner. If I run out of potions, that can be really bad. So just taking as little damage as possible throughout this little section is good. It just gives me more safety, and safety is obviously very good for a marathon. So my mum calls me here. She wants to save my money. I am not letting her touch my money. I just want to be in control of all of my money. All good. And this is about the last section of grass before we get to Violet. NPC was nice there. He can just get in your way and force you to take more tiles because they're random as well. Okay, that's going to be my last one, because the last tiles will be immune. So that's fine. I actually wasn't really paying attention to how many encounters I had. It's probably like just about average, maybe like 1 more than average. It wasn't too bad. I've had far worse starts than that. I've had far better starts than that. So, I actually don't even know what Ethan has to say here. I've never read this text. So, entering Violet, I'm going to go into the center. I'm not actually going to do anything there. The reason that I do that is just in case I die, I go to Violet instead of going all the way back to Cherry Grove. There's not a huge chance that I die here, but it is pretty real. In general, in most Pokemon games, the early game is the more risky part, because you generally just try and beef up one Pokemon, and it gets more and more and more beefed up, and you get access to better items and better moves. And so eventually, once you've got the strategy for what you want to plan out, the more options that you have, the easier it is to win. And so at the early game, when you're fighting, level 7 versus level 7, there's a bit more variance. And that's where you can have more deaths. That's not really the case in this run. This run is pretty dangerous all the way through, and these fights are actually quite easy. The gym fights definitely do have variance, but you also want to play a bit risky to try and save time, because Cyndaquil's ability is Blaze, and so what Blaze does is when your health is at 1/3 or less of maximum, So, for example, at 23 health here, it would be 7 or less, and at 25 health here, it would be 8 or less. Then its Fire-type moves do 50% more damage. So when I get a Fire-type move at level 10, Ember, I do a lot more damage with Ember if I'm at lower health. And so there's quite a bit of risk-reward strategy there, in that you can go faster if you don't heal when you're at low health, but if you're at low health and then something goes a bit wrong, like someone gets a crit on you or whatever, then you can just instantly die. But yeah, these Bellsprouts, these are pretty easy. It's just mash tackle. Because you resist Vine Whip, they generally only do 1 damage. They can do 2, 1 in 16 chance, but they're all doing 1 at the moment. My attack isn't great, so it's actually a damage range to 2-hit those Bellsprouts. I got the second one, I didn't get the first. I've now got 14 attacks, so now it's guaranteed at level 9. I'm also going to bonk into this guy before I move. The reason for doing that is because of the turn frame, which I mentioned turn frames before, but I didn't explain what they are. So turn frames are if you're not in motion, so you're standing still, and you turn in a direction that isn't the direction that you're facing, you have what's called a turn frame. And so it both takes 6 frames to actually do a turn frame to complete it, so you want to avoid it to save those 6 frames. But also in this area in Sprout Tower you can get encounters, and the turn frame actually counts as a check for an encounter. But by bonking, you actually start motion, so like running into that guy after talking to him, you start motion, and so then you don't have the turn frame. And so then that skips that 1 encounter check, so it just makes me slightly less likely to get an encounter overall, because the RNG carries over. So doing more turn frames all the way throughout Sprout Tower just keeps on saving that 1 check. So there's level 10, so now I'll get Ember. Oh, I was going to write down Cyndaquil stats, but I forgot. I'll write them down now, so I don't forget for later. Alright, easy. Yeah, so my stats aren't too bad. So now that I've got Ember, I can one-hit all of these Bellsprouts. I'm not going to bonk off that one, because there's actually no encounters in this room. Because that's the first room of where you entered, and there's an encounter. That's unfortunate. So yeah, this is a tower, so the encounter rate in here is much lower than in the grass, because as I mentioned before, that second encounter call is only 10 instead of being 30. So I'm actually running through here even though you can get encounters, because the difference between walking and running is 2 to 4% instead of 6 to 12, so the difference is only an extra 2% chance of an encounter, which makes it overall better to be running, basically. It's statistically better. Okay, so we'll Ember this one. So I will get 1 more level before I fight Elderly, so I can one-hit his Bellsprouts with Ember as well, but he also has a Hoot Hoot. And the Hoot Hoot I can't one-hit. My special attack's kind of dicey. So my health is I'm 1 hit away from Blaze, so the Hoot Hoot has Peck, Hypnosis, and Growl. It can only use Growl if your health is 75% or more than what your maximum is. That's just there's quite a few weird AI quirks like that within the game. I actually don't know what all of them are, because they're not documented anywhere. A lot of them are just found from experimentation. Some of them are found from people like MK Dasher, Legend, who will research and actually figure it out, but he only does things if you actually ask him to do them, and he's really busy, so I don't ask him to do everything. Some of the knowledge is from like 2015, when he had a bit more time. But yeah, Peck in Hypnosis. So Peck will do... Oh, I actually didn't check my defense, but it should do 4 damage. My defense is good. So that'll hit me into Blaze, so that's the most ideal. Hypnosis, it doesn't have good accuracy, but it will put me to sleep if it hits me, and getting put to sleep is really bad. I don't want to get put to sleep, that's very slow and bad. So ideally, I would just get Peck, and I just take him out with 2 Blaze hits after the first hit, which won't be in Blaze. That would be the most ideal. This is kind of like the first mini-boss, I guess, of the run, if you want to put it that way. The reason that I took that center before for safety was for Elderly and for Falkner, which is going to be the fight right after this one, the first gym leader. So yeah, the Bellsprouts are no threat whatsoever. You can sometimes take 1 more encounter, because you'll see that EXP bar gets pretty close to getting 1 more level to level 12. So if you have really specific defense or special attack, it can be worth it to take out one of the encounters that I had in Sprout Tower. Hypnosis miss. Okay, that's fine. Now I want Peck to put me into Blaze. No, that's bad. Should I risk? No, I'm going to heal. So I could risk trying to wake up there, because I'm in Blaze, and I think a Blaze hit would probably kill. but I would also die to a crit peck. So just for marathon safety, because I also never wake up straight away, I just went the potion. And so yeah, that one's not going to kill. He can't use Hypnosis on the turn that you wake up, so I couldn't get put back to sleep, so it's like, oh, I'll just eat the one turn for safety. It's not a big deal. I'll probably potion as I escape rope after the fight. So that, I mean, that wasn't a great fight, but I was no chance of dying, so just took it safe. It's all good, just a bit unlucky, but that is Pokemon. That is what happens. You get some good luck, you get some bad luck. This run's just been exceedingly mediocre so far, unfortunately. I would have liked to have a bit more exciting on both ends, to be honest. But there's plenty more time for that in this run. This run is pretty wild. Okay, so I pick up the escape rope here, and I'm just going to use a potion on this menu as I use it, because you just want to reduce the amount of times that you go into the menu. Potion and escape rope, get out of here, and then we're going to go straight to Falkner. We're going to run around the gym trainers and just go straight to him. So the reason I did Sprout Tower, I should have explained, is because it's mandatory. If you go straight to the gym without doing Sprout Tower, some dude, I think, just pushes you out. I can't remember. But you're not allowed to go in. You can't do it without doing Sprout Tower, but in the originals you can. But anyway, take this elevator up, we'll just go around, and off to Falkner. So Falkner, this can be a really, really bad fight. So he leads a Pidgey, and the Pidgey has Tackle and Sand Attack. And it's a 50% chance to use Sand Attack, which reduces your accuracy. If it reduces my accuracy, I'm just going to switch out to reset my stats, because trying to take out his Pidgeotto with a reduced special attack is just not happening. And then the Pidgeotto can be attacking you. See, that's Sand Attack. I actually wasn't checking my special attack. I'm not sure if I'm guaranteed to here. Well, I got the Pidgey. I'll just switch out after. Just going to check my stats here real quick. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to switch out to Sentret because that resets my all of my stat modifications within the fight. Switching out, get my accuracy back. But yeah, so the Pidgeotto, it can attack me with either Tackle or Gust, and then it can use Roost. So once you damage it, Roost restores half of its health, and you cannot do half of its health. So if it decides to just spam Roost, and it's a 50-50 chance to just use Roost every time that it's taken damage, it can just stall you forever, and it's just instantly crit me. Okay, that's actually not too bad if he attacks me now, because now I'm straight into Blaze. So now that he can kill me, he can't use Roost. He will definitely attack, but I have to potion because he'll kill me. So he'll go one more attack, and now I'm really hoping he attacks me here. Do not use Roost. Beautiful. And now this Blaze hit will kill. Perfect. Excellent fight. Excellent fight. And this will just take me to level 14, and now I will evolve to Quilava after this fight. I also used very few Embers in that fight, so like I said, if he just spams Roost, he can just Roost forever, and you can just run out of Embers and just have no way to take him out. So you didn't see it at all, so that was very lucky. And so now I'm Quilava. Quilava's obviously the evolution of Cyndaquil, a bit more powerful. And having all of those Embers means I won't need to take a Senna for the next section, because the next section I'm going to do is Slowpoke Well. But so before that, I'm going to go to the mart. I'm going to buy a few things. I'm going to buy some super potions, restore 50 health. So a lot more than the potion. For the next fight, I'm going to need, for the next big fights, I'm going to need some supers. And then I'm going to buy repels to use to get rid of the encounters. And I'm also going to buy some antidotes in case I get poisoned to heal that. Get away from this guy. Oh, nice movement. So we'll go down. There's a little bit of a cutscene. There's some plot going on where there's some egg. I don't know. Kimono girls come out and they give you an egg. Oh, this guy calls me. There's not even... Oh, the kimono girl's after. Yeah, I don't really pay attention to the plot. I just play the game. So we go to the mart. We pick up the egg. We don't actually want the egg. We get rid of it as soon as we can. Bye, bye, bye. This would be a good time, Mikami, if you want to go in.
We don't have any other donations, Worcester, but I'll plug us out. So, for those of you who don't know, we are Oz Speedruns, a group doing speedrun events to raise money for charity. For this event, we're raising money for Game on Cancer, a charity which funds early career cancer researchers who are working across all areas of cancer research. If you'd like to donate, you can go to donate.ozspeedruns.com. I'll just drop a donate link in chat. And we're at $16,000, guys, so thank you so much for your support. And thanks again, Worcester.
Alright, thanks for that. Yeah, 16k, we We really popped off in the last couple of hours. So yeah, little cutscene here. So now that I've got repels, I'm going to be using that through the grass. So there's a couple of things coming up right after I start using the repels. The first one is spinners. So spinners in this game are trainers that spin around in random directions. And so basically, if you pass them when they're not looking in the direction when you're trying to pass them, you can get by them without having to fight them, which is obviously ideal. But they're called spinners and notable because they can spin and hit you as you're trying to pass them, and that's very, very bad. Don't want that to happen. But there are methods you can use to try and get past them with complete consistency if you're very good. The reason that you can make it consistent is in this game, spinners work on cycles, on 32 frame cycles. So they won't spin for every... They can spin every 32 frames, basically, is how it works. So if you have to walk by most of them, you can run by some, and walking takes 16 frames. So if you have the reaction time to be in a 16 frame window, you can always get by them. You like open and pause the game, you'll see because they're coming up in Slowpoke Well. I'm going to grab the X attack in here because I have low attack. You can skip this with better stats. One of the things with this run is, yeah, you do have to kind of chop and change exactly what your route is based on what your stats are, sorry. But then right after I get past these spinners is the first useful tweak of the run. I'm going to use it to tweak into Slowpoke Well early. So I'm going to force this guy to spin this way, then I'm going to wait for him. Check, that's free. So basically, I wait so I have a reaction time of between 16 to 48 frames, and then I walk the 16, pause and check, and then it's always between 32 to 64, and that should be a free pass. So here's the first useful tweak. I completely screwed that up. We'll just try it again. It's not a big deal. There we go. Got it that time. Wait for this guy, get past. So what that tweak did is, again, so there was a cutscene that's supposed to be here, but the NPCs just aren't loaded. And so there's supposed to be a rocket grunt blocking me from this Slowpoke Well. It's also messed with my Z-axis, so my height isn't going to update as I go down this hill, and so it's kind of going to look like I'm just floating on air in some of these places. I'm not actually. It's just not updating my height visually. But so that just lets me go into Slowpoke Well a bit early. It doesn't actually save that much time, because all you have to do to get into Slowpoke Well is talk to Kurt in his house, and then you can go into Slowpoke Well. You don't have to do any extra fights. But it still does save time, even with me messing it up the first time. That tweak is objectively the easiest in the run, and yet it's the one that I have the least consistency at hitting. A lot of the other tweaks, well, all of the other tweaks will happen after I get the bike. You can do some of them without the bike. So that tweak pattern is called running tweak. It's the only tweak you can do while running. But the bike moves a lot faster, and so all of those tweaks are objectively more difficult, but I'm, for some reason, more consistent at them. So I'm just above Blaze here as well. That Rattata has just hit me into Blaze. I actually would have preferred if those if one of those Rattatas had used Quick Attack to hit me into Blaze, because then my Ember would have one-hit those Rattatas. But I've got Blaze now, so hopefully I can carry it throughout Slowpoke Well, because it really helps for these Zubats. The Zubats have Supersonic, which can confuse you, which then you've just got a 50% chance to hit yourself, and that's awful. So hopefully I can one-hit all of these Zubats now that I'm in Blaze. I won't one-hit the Ekans or the Coughing, so I am a small chance of dying here, and dying here is absolutely catastrophic because I haven't taken a center anywhere near. I would go all the way back to Violet and have to go through all of that grass section where I used all of the repels, and I don't have enough repels to do that, and so I would have to buy more, and then I wouldn't have enough money. So it's all very bad. So that used Wrap. That's put me at 8. If I'm at 11, I won't heal, but if I'm at 10, I will. So see how much health I get here. I'm at 10. So okay, I will. I'm not going to heal straight away, though. I'm going to keep Blaze for the next bit. So the reason that I said I would heal at 10... Oh, hang on. 10? That doesn't make sense. Poison's going to do 5. Will Smoke do 5? Hang on, let me just figure this out. 5... 4, 3... No, it would truncate. Smog will do 4, won't it? I think I'm safe. I actually don't know. I'm going to let the audience decide. Should I risk this, or should I YOLO? Oh, no, that's the same thing. Oh my goodness. I did not give you an option there. Should I play it safe, or should I risk it? Alright. Good. So the reason that I did that is I'm not accountable if this goes Ori now. Yeah, I think I have enough embers. I actually wasn't paying attention to that either. Should be fine. So I'm only in danger of dying if this coughing poisons me with smog. But I think it'll do 9 if it does. And I'm at 10. Because I think the smog will do 4 and the poison will do 5. And so that'll be 9. How many embers do I have? Yeah, 3. I've got enough embers. Beautiful. I think this is right. Because smog can't do 5. It can only do 4 or 6. No, I don't think it'll do 6. He'll be fine. Don't worry about it. He could also just not use smog. Smoke screen. Okay. Well, I've only got 1 ember. That's reduced my accuracy. So if this misses... Oh, no. Oh, okay. So now I'm going to go quick attack. I'll need 2 of these. Oh! I'm healing. Sorry. I'm not risking that because I can just miss. It's a 1 in 4 chance to miss. And if I did, I would die. Smog did 3? What? How did Smog do 3? What is going on? I've never seen that before. My special defense must be cracked. Okay. But I didn't die. It's all good. Okay, so there's a big route divergence here based on what your stats are. So you can either now fight Rival 2, so the second rival fight, or you can go fight Bugsy. It's more ideal to fight Rival 2 early if you can, but you need good special defense to be able to do it. I do have good special defense, so I am going to be fighting Rival 2 first. Sentret died, so I'm going to go into the center now, and I'm going to heal. That'll get all my embers back and heal me up. I also need to heal Sentret. I want Sentret alive for Rival 2, because I'm going to sacrifice it on Rival 2. And I'm also going to use this opportunity to deposit the egg. So it's faster to just use this to heal than to talk to... Oh no, I can't do that because Sentret is not alive. Yeah, my nature's neutral. I cannot believe Smog did 3. I didn't even know that was possible. Jeez, I haven't played this game enough. Okay. So yeah, we're going to go to Rival 2. So Rival 2, this fight can still be really, really bad, especially doing it early. Whichever one of Rival 2 and Bugsy you do early can be really, really bad, and they're still bad if you do them second. So he leads with a Ghastly. The Ghastly has roughly an equal chance to use Curse, Spite, or Mean Look. Spite and Mean Look are really good. Curse is awful. It also has an extremely rare chance to use Lick. Lick is fine unless it paralyzes, in which case it's absolutely traumatically bad. So Spite's fine, that's really good. And so now he's going to send out Croconaw. So Croconaw a really tough poke to take out. But his AI is a bit weird in that he's about a 80% chance to use Scary Face. And I want him to just spam Scary Face. That's what I want. And he's gone straight to Water Gun. That's really unlucky. I want him to spam Scary Face. Thank you very much. Go quick attack there. Unfortunately, that's only going to be 2. I'm going to throw out another Leer as he goes the third. Then I'll switch to Sentret. So now that I'm at -6, he's guaranteed to actually attack me. But now that I've switched out and got my speed back, he can now start using Scary Face again. So we'll come back out, and now I'm going to use that X attack that I got earlier. Scary Face, good. Quick attack. Scary Face, good. So now I'm going to use Tackle, even though it's lower power than Quick Attack. The reason that I'm doing that is because Quick Attack is a priority move. So by using Tackle and then Quick Attack, Croconaw has a synonymous ability, the same as Cyndaquil has with Blaze. Croconaw has Torrent, which increases his water-type moves by 50% when he's at 1/3 or below. So by using Tackle with lower speed, when I'm slower than him, and then switching to Quick Attack, he doesn't get an opportunity to have Torrent be active and then hit me with Water Gun, which it would have killed me if he had hit me with a Torrent Water Gun. I have to heal here because I'm confused. Hitting myself again will lead to a death. I should just win against this Zubat, but it's unfortunate that I had to heal. This just happens. Should just be a win. I'm going to heal if I'm any chance of dying. That's doing 8, and that's doing 7. So heal at 15. Snap out. Okay, can't use Supersonic. And then one more Quick Attack will take him out. Ember might be doing more than Quick Attack here, but I will be slower than the Zubat, and I want as little chance of hitting myself in confusion, but also getting flinched by bite as possible. So just going quick attack is the better option there in that scenario. But so I won, that's good. And so Sentret is also dead, which is also good, because in Bugsy's gym there is a double battle. But by only having one Pokemon alive, they simply won't battle me, so I can skip that fight by having Sentret dead, which is, it's why doing Rival 2 first is more ideal, because I can bring Sentret out for Rival 2 and then just kill it in that fight and then still skip this fight. Whereas if I did Bugsy first, I would have to not have Sentret in my party or alive, and then I would have to go to the PC and get Sentret out to sacrifice it on Rival 2, because you basically always want to do that. Okay, so this fight isn't too bad. Am I in Blaze? I'm not in Blaze, so I'm not going to one-hit the Beedrill. I'm probably going to have to heal before Bugsy. Bugsy can still be pretty risky. I'm pretty sure, like, when you do him late, it is a lot easier, because you hit level 18 instead of level 17. I probably should have explained this earlier, but so the damage that you do isn't just dependent on your stats, it's also dependent on your level. So every time you hit a level that ends in 0, 3, 5, or 8, you end up doing significantly more damage. So the power increase from level 17 to 18 is quite big, but from 18 to 19, there's no increase just based on the level, it's just the stat. So that can actually sometimes just be no increase at all. Finish that off with Quick Attack instead of Ember, just to avoid super effective text. There's quite a few scenarios like that. At the start of the run, it's mostly just about saving Ember PP so that you don't run out. I mean, you saw I actually did run out against the Coughing because I missed the Ember before. But so this is the double fight that you otherwise would have to fight, but there's just like, yo, it's not fair, you've only got one poke. So that's all good, and then we're going to get a Bugsy, so I am going to heal. I think I'm just going to regular potion. You do want one of the hits on Bugsy at least to be in Blaze. So I think in this scenario it's better to just regular potion instead of super potion, because I'll get hit into Blaze from 2 hits, but I won't die from 2 hits. That's generally the position that you want to be in. Because he can go Quick Attack, he can go Leer Quick Attack, which should also put me into Blaze in my health, or he can go Focus Energy, Quick Attack. I mean, he can use Focus Energy and then lots of Leers as well. I would prefer him to just use Quick Attack. Focus Energy increases his crit rate, which is just way worse to play around. Of course, he uses Focus Energy straight away. Oh, okay, I got the burn. I should win this fight now. I'm actually going to use Quick Attack here, even though Ember does way more. The reason that I'm doing that is because I don't want to hit him to really low health, and then have the Bugsy will use a Super Potion on Scyther if I do that. But so by using Quick Attack and then using Ember, I still take the Scyther out in 3 hits, but he doesn't have an opportunity to heal it. So that was actually pretty clean. I had no chance of dying once I got the burn. That was just completely free. And now the Metapod and Kakuna will just go down to 2 Embers. And then I'm going to hit level 20 at the end of this fight, and I'm going to teach Flame Wheel. Yeah, I am going to teach Flame Wheel. My attack's not great. Sometimes you can skip teaching Flame Wheel. So Flame Wheel is a physical move. Ember's a special move. Sometimes if your special attack is so much better than your attack, it can be better to just forgo even teaching Flame Wheel. Flame Wheel is higher power. It's 60 power as Ember is 40. But you pretty much always have higher special attack than physical attack, but not enough to make Ember better. I'm not really going to use Quilava too much more. There's only 2 more fights where it's a companion Pokemon, basically. It's not the main Pokemon. But it is still helpful to have for those scenarios, and so teaching Flame Wheel is going to be worth it. But I've had no deaths so far, so this is actually pretty clean. It's not a fantastic run, but I've had so many worse runs than this. Like, I've had runs where I've had 6 deaths up to this point, so... And I've raced several people who have had even worse starts. So now I'm going to go off to Ilex Forest. I'm going to use some repels in here as well. It might look a bit odd. I'm actually going to use a repel before I get to Ilex Forest. The reason for that is you need to use 4 repels to get through Ilex Forest, and this method is going to use 4 repels anyway. But by using it early, I will have a repel wear off at a more ideal time, and you will understand what I mean when it happens. So just going to use the repel here. I think that's the right tile. If it's not a big deal. But so Ilex Forest is pretty boring. It's just use the repels, you do these Farfetch puzzles, and I'll mention the repel thing when it comes up. But otherwise, Mikami, if you've got anything, now is a good time.
Yeah, buddy. So we got 2 donations. So $20 from John Comedy. Big fan of Worcester. Keep it up. And $20 from Whis. Hello Wester, good luck on the run. Greetings from the Netherlands from the People's Mod, who of course guessed Cuba. Thank you, Whis, for the $20. And back to you, Wester.
Alright, so cheers for those. So I'm also going to pick up quite a few items in Ilex. These are mostly for safety, but you definitely want to have them. Alright, so I did do the first repel on the right tile. I remember where the second one is. So first one that I'm going to pick up here is this Revive. So a Revive will make it so I can revive a Pokemon if it dies. Very good for safety at this point in the game. So this Farfetch puzzle, it's just, you got to talk to it from behind, but so this first one, you've just got to lure it across to here, step on these sticks to get its attention, to get it to turn around, and then duck in here and talk to him. And so what's going to happen now is I get the HM for Cut, and now that I've beat Bugsy, I can use Cut. And so what's going to happen is the Repel is going to wear off right before I get to that Cut bush, so I can use the third Repel and teach Cut on the same menu. So by using that Repel earlier, it actually makes the Repel wear off earlier, obviously, because the 100 steps happens earlier, right there. And so it saves me having to teach Cut and use another Repel in a different menu. So it just saves time that way. Teach Cut to Sentret. I could teach it to Quilava, but as I mentioned before, because Sentret only has 2 moves, it doesn't have to write over another move, so it saves quite a bit of text to just teach it to Sentret. So the other items that I'm going to get in here are an X attack. You can pick up a safety super potion here, but I actually have so many super potions, I don't need to pick up any of the backups, even with doing safety marathon strats, which I haven't been doing at all, to be honest. No, I still don't need that super potion. I'm completely fine. I think I've still got 5 left because I kept using regulars. So this is more kimono lore. It's faster to say no to her that you've got no idea what to do. It just saves a little bit of text. Quilava does all the work for you anyway. So I'm also going to pick up an Ether, and I'm going to pick up a full heal. So the full heal is pretty necessary. Whether you pick up the Ether or not is kind of a judgment call. Some runners do it, some runners don't. Some runners do it sometimes and not other times. Oh, the full heals first. I actually thought that was the Ether. Shows how much attention I pay. That's the Ether. I know where the items are. That's all that matters. I get them both. Yeah, so the full heal is pretty necessary for the third rival fight. The Ether, you generally run out of PP on... Oh my goodness, I've just wasted 2 tiles there. On Aerial Ace later, but you can just get a second Ether if that happens. So I had to enter this cutscene at a less ideal tile. I would rather be 2 tiles to the left here when I enter this. You're going to see me walk really slowly during this cutscene to get into position. So if I didn't waste those 2 tiles, I would have actually cut into the grass to enter the cutscene at the right point. But because I wasted those tiles, I wasn't going to take grass tiles and risk an encounter. It's just better to just take the cutscene from that position. It's not a huge deal, you know, it's like less than a second, but those are the type of things that really hurt. I can take the... I die and lose 3 minutes, but when you lose 1 second to execution, that really hurts. So okay, Goldenrod, this is where the game opens up quite a bit. So the first thing I'm going to do in Goldenrod is I'm going to get my bike. And so the bike moves quite fast. It also has a wind-up, so it's got a bit of a build-up. I can't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head. I think it's like 12, 8, 6, 4, something like that. Of how fast it moves, so like it builds up momentum and then it just keeps moving at 4 frames per tile. And so that allows me to do quite a lot more tweaking patterns. I haven't actually explained tweaking, I should do that. But the other thing that I pick up here is there's a guy who gives you a free Spearow. He's like, yo bro, deliver this mail, also I'll give you a poke that's got the mail attached. You don't care about the mail, but the poke is actually really good. It's a level 20 Spearow, which is the same level as Quilava. Spearow isn't as good as Quilava, but Spearow evolves into Fearow at level 20, so it evolves if you give it 1 level to 21, and Fearow is better than Quilava. So you just take it for free, and then you just use it for the next part of the run. It also gets boosted experience because it's not your Pokemon, so it levels up a bit quicker. So I'm going to register the bike and then put it on, and then I'm going to go get the Kenya, and then I'm going to do a double tweak to get into the gym early. So the first one that I'm going to do is a load tweak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the map from above me to be below me, and then that's going to give me access to another load line to do a tweak that's going to not update my z-axis, so I'm going to fall a little bit into the ground, and then it's not going to update my height, and I'm still going to be in the ground, and then I'm going to get under this little girl before the gym. So here's the first one. Beautiful. So now the map from above has been pulled below, and so this is not right. And then oh, that's wrong, hang on. Then I do this one, and now I don't update my height, and so I'm a little bit under, and then I just sneak under this girl into the gym. Beautiful. Switch Kenya to the front, so the Spearow is nicknamed Kenya. Now, I have very often just called Spearow and Fearow Kenya, just out of habit, because we use Kenya in this run so much. And we just refer to it as Kenya. So the first 2 fights in this gym just give enough experience for Spearow to reach level 21 before Whitney. And so doing Whitney with Spearow is just really, really nice. The Spearow also comes with consistent stats. It always has the same IVs and nature and gender as well. So it's always a girl, which is really important because there are so many Pokemon in this area that can try and hit you with the Attract status, either by using Attract or having their ability be Cute Charm. But they're all girls. And so if you're a girl, they can't attract you. So it's much better to be doing this part with a girl. And pretty much always your Quilava is a boy because you're a 7 in 8 chance to get a boy. So it's much better to have a girl. So because the stats are consistent, I also know like exactly how much damage things are going to do to me and how much damage I'm going to do to them. So those Jigglypuffs, for example, they were a 14 in 16 chance of dying. So pretty good chance. I haven't explained damage ranges either. So every time you do an attack, it has 16 different values of how much damage it can do. Basically, after the damage calculation of how much damage you can do, it then runs a chance of doing 100% of that amount, 99% of that amount, 98% of that amount, etc. down to 85. That was a really good crit that I just got there, by the way. And so there's just 16 different values that you can get. But yeah, that crit, it saved me a turn, but it also saved me taking damage in that fight. I would have taken damage if I didn't get that crit, because it either would have used Scary Face and then been faster than me, and then been guaranteed to use Bite, because this trainer has smarter AI than the rival. For whatever reason, it won't use Scary Face once it's faster than you. Or it would have just used Bite, and I would have taken damage. And it's really good to be at full health before Whitney. If I wasn't at full, I might have actually healed, so it just saves me the heal. And so yeah, now I evolve into Fearow right before. I also taught Mirror Move there. Mirror Move is not a move that you would expect to actually use in this run, but I probably will. Ideally, I will use it against Whitney. It's also faster to just teach Mirror Move even if you don't, because Fearow tries to learn Mirror Move at level 23. So by learning it now at 21, Fearow won't try to learn it at 23 because it's already learnt it. And so it's faster to teach a move than to not teach a move twice. Okay, so coming up is the Clefairy. I really want to keep full health up to the Miltank, so ideally this Clefairy either uses Mimic or it does a bogus Metronome and does nothing. That's Metronome. Discharge! No, dude. Dude! I have no Paralyze heals. I have no idea what to do. Okay, interesting. And it's hitting me with more damage. That's very, very unlucky. Okay, so I'm almost certainly going to have to use the Revive. Oh my goodness, I need to die to Stomp. I can't die to Roll Out. Roll Out's 14. Oh my goodness. I don't have any regular potions. Oh no, why did I do that? Okay. I should have expected the Metronome Discharge. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I don't want the Miltank to use Roll Out, because then it can just take me out in one hit. I want it to be using Stomp. I have no idea how I'm going to do this. Because if I don't heal now, even though he can't kill me in one hit, even though she can't kill me in one hit, once I'm at low health, it can start using Rollout, because Rollout can kill me. If I'm still at high health, it will be spamming Stomp. Unfortunately, given I'm paralyzed, I'm slower, and Stomp can flinch me. So my chance of actually getting through here is really bad. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have healed there. Well, I did. Too bad. So now I'm going to go Mirror Move. If I hit it... What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? We'll go for one. Okay, if I heal now... I said I wasn't going to run out of supers. Would you look at this? See if it goes for Rollout or Stomp here. That's Rollout. Okay. If I get through Paralysis here, I can kill. If I don't, this might be trouble. Okay, this should kill. Beautiful, I won. Thank God. I also didn't use the Revive, so I'm still paralyzed. I don't know what to do about that. I have a full heal! Oh my God! Thanks for mentioning that after I did the fight, by the way. That's brilliant. Oh dear. Okay, so I'll just use the full heal when I heal afterwards. It's all good. It's all good. So yeah, so tweaking. So the way tweaking works is this game is loaded in like chunks. So it's loaded in, I can't remember if it's 32 by 32 or 16 by 16 chunks, but basically just in big blocks. And so the way that it works is it always tries to load the chunk that you're on and one in every direction of where you are. So like one up right, one down right, etc. So that it has 9 loaded. But so where those chunks intersect, we call the load lines. So basically it's where it loads one thing to the whatever direction you're going, one thing ahead of you, and deloads one behind you. And so if you cross over those load lines in really specific patterns, you can get very interesting effects, like loading parts of the map into different parts of the map where it's not supposed to be. So I'm going to do another tweak here. Yep. I'm going to use the repel first. I'm also going to use my last super potion now. I did run out, unbelievable, on Firo, and we'll use that full heal that I have, and then I'm going to do a tweak here, hopefully, first try. I don't think that worked. No, it didn't. Alright, I'm going to do the backup then. First time I've ever done the backup. I think it's about here. I have to reload. Yep, good. I'm not stuck inside the wall. Oh no, the repel wore off. I don't have... Do I have another repel? Yeah, I do. I'm just going to use the other repel. All good. And then... Oh, yeah. So if I'd done that tweak first try, what would have happened is all of the NPCs would have been deloaded, and so I would have just been able to just skip right past them and not do any of the fights. But I did a different pattern the second try, because I can't retry that tweak. If I don't get it first try, it simply doesn't work anymore, because the NPCs are already loaded. It's basically you have to do that running pattern before actually crossing the upper load line. Once you've already crossed the upper load line, you would have to reload the entire map, and so it's faster to just do that backup pattern where you do a load tweak to load the map from below so that my height ends up getting altered, so I just go down and they just sneak below the NPCs who are trying to fight me. And then I did a map reload to reload the correct map in that area to then just scoot around all of the trainers that I was supposed to fight then. So that's just skipping a couple of trainers that you're supposed to fight. It's not a huge skip. The huge skips are still coming up. Do this movement off to the double fight. So the fairy double here, this is another, I guess, mini boss fight where I'm going to fight with both Firo and Quilava. The way you can do this fight is you can do lots of different things here. I'm still trying to decide what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go for right side first. I'm going to go for the Clefable. So Clefable and Wheelie are actually pretty strong Pokemon for this point of the game. I'm probably not going to take this Clefable out here. I did. That's really lucky. I got good rolls there. My Quilava does not have very good attacks, so that's really good. Aerial Ace was disabled. That's absolutely awful. Oh, okay, so now I have to resort to using Pursuit. That's really unlucky. It's very, very low chance to actually... And now I've got Q-Charms. Unbelievable. It's such a low chance to actually pick Disable. I may as well just Flame Wheel again. And that's, yeah, not dead. Alright, took that one out. That's the one that Q-Charmed me, so I won't be Q-Charmed anymore. Check to see if I'm in Blaze. I'm not. Okay, I'm going to lead with Ember so that I don't get Q-Charmed again, because Ember doesn't make contacts. It can't Q-Charm me if I use Ember. I burnt it instead. Okay, I am still disabled. This is ridiculous. The good news is I'm using so few Aerial Aces that I'm not going to have to use that Ether, so I'll be able to keep it for later. Silver Lining, no longer disabled before the Clefable came out at least. Quilava's still not in Blaze, unfortunately, so this one definitely won't die. This one has higher defense than the other Clefable. Oh, I crit it! There we go. Beautiful. That solves all the problems. So, I don't have any repels, so what am I going to do here? I can just buy an extra regular repel. I think that, oh, I have no supers. So I'm just going to YOLO this grass. Beautiful, no encounter. Going to duck in here to get Surf really quickly. I don't actually need Surf yet, but it's just better for the experience routing to do this fight now. It is better to do this specific fight later, because I would be a higher level for this fight, but I want the experience in this fight for especially Rival 3. So I'm just going to quickly figure out what I need to buy. I still have the Revive. Supers, let me think. Quilava's only on 20 health, that's really bad. Decisions. Yeah, so this is another thing. It's like the routing, even for stuff like what you buy with the money, can alter a lot in this run. There's a lot of on-the-fly decisions that you have to make. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do here, because I've run out of the Repel as well. Buy the regular. It's faster to talk to that guy from the right side as well, by the way. Just the exit cutscene is a little bit faster. Small things that matter. Normal thing that I do is buy 2 revives and 2 supers. Just not sure if that's the right play. So I'm going to buy the netball, as always. Okay, I am going to do it. We're just going to buy 2 supers and 2 revives. I think I'll revive Sentret pre-fight. And I'm also going to buy 1 escape rope, 3 awakenings, 1 regular repel, because I ran out, and then 6 supers should put me at $36. Yep, easy. One more item that I'm going to pick up here is the rare candy. I'm not going to use that now. That's going to be important for later. The next fight that I'm doing is Rival 3, so I'm a bit worried. I'm not in a good position here with Quilava. You want Quilava to either be in Blaze or to be at really high health, and it's at neither. It's at exactly 20, which is like the worst amount of health that it can be at. So regular repel. I think I'm going to revive Sentret. Actually, no, that's not the right play. I'm gonna Oranberry Quilava? Question mark? Double Oranberry Fearow. This is what I'm doing. Oh, I don't have the full heal. Oh my goodness. I don't have the full heal. Okay, I'm reviving Sentret. We're going back. I'm just trying to save as many of my good items there as possible. Like the supers. It would have been faster to use a super potion to heal Kenya back to full there, but I'm just using the 2 orange because I've only got 2 supers because I use so many on Whitney. So, Rival 3. So, the first poke here, the Ghastly is not a concern for Fearow, but then he's going to send out Magnemite, and Magnemite is, you just cannot deal with Magnemite as Kenya because all of your moves are not very effective, but Quilava being a fire type, its moves are super effective, so I'm going to switch to Quilava. But because I don't have the full heal, I'm not going to switch straight to Quilava, because it generally uses status moves. It generally uses Thunder Wave and Supersonic, and then when you get paralyzed and confused, you then use the full heal to cure both of those status at once. But because I don't have the full heal, I just do not want to risk getting status. So I'm just going to send in Sentret, let Sentret die so I can get to Quilava for free. Unfortunately, I don't have very good attack, so it's not actually very likely that this Flame Wheel is going to one-hit Magnemite. But if it does enough, I can still make it so Fearow can take it out. Oh, I got it. That's another really good range. Okay, good. So now I've got enough health with Quilava. I'm now going to spam Leer on Croconaw is going to come out. So if I can get enough Leers out on Croconaw, I can make it so Fearow can just take it out instantly, which is really good because this Croconaw is actually very dangerous. Yeah, Scary Face, okay. Is very dangerous to Fearow if you don't get any of these Leers off. That's actually perfect if that doesn't crit. So that's my 3rd Leer. Now I'm going to use Quick Attack because I'm slower, get that little bit of chip damage in. Now Croconaw is going to kill me. And now Kenya should just take it out instantly. That is actually the perfect turn of events, as long as this works. Because Croconaw tries to reduce Fearow's speed and then it uses Ice Fang as well. And Ice Fang can do more than half your health. And so if it just starts spamming Ice Fang, you can just be screwed. And it can freeze you, and I don't have the full heal. So that would have been really bad. And being slower than this Zubat after getting hit by Scary Face can be absolutely awful as well. This Zubat's a very low chance of dying in one hit, but I've been getting good rolls. Yes! Oh my goodness! Huge. Huge. Yeah, that one's very unlikely. It's only 4 in 16. And I've actually never had that happen in my entire life. I've never hit that Zubat while being faster. So that's the best Rival 3 I've ever had. That's fantastic. Alright, so now we release these beasts. And so this was what I was talking about before in the Manipped run. Now that you release Raikou, you would catch that Raikou at level 40 with a Master Ball, and it would be used throughout the rest of the run. But I'm obviously not going to do that. And there's still one more gym that I have to do to be able to use Surf, and that's Morty. And so I'm going to fight Morty with Fearow. And so Fearow's really good for Whitney, unless you get Metronome Discharge. But Fearow is also really good for Morty, because Morty's ace is Gengar, and it uses Shadow Ball, which is a Ghost-type move. Does lots of damage, but Fearow is immune to it. So it's not really a threat for Fearow. Just going to quickly grab this hidden Ultra Ball here. That's going to be used for later to catch either a Machop or a Geodude. And then we're going to head off to the gym. So this gym, it's got 4 trainers who all have either Ghastlies or Haunters. Very, very boring stuff. So you can either use Pursuit or Aerial Ace to kill them. Pursuit is super effective, but it actually does less damage. Because Pursuit's 40 power and it's super effective, so times 2 it goes to 80. Aerial Ace is 60 power, but because Aerial Ace is the same type as Fearow, it gets the same type attack bonus, which is 1.5 times, so it goes to 90 power. But where I can use Pursuit, I am going to be using Pursuit because I only have 7 Aerial Aces. I would like to just be using Aerial Ace on every single one of these Pokemon to skip the super effective techs, but I simply don't have the PP for that. But I will be using all 7 of my Aerial Aces at some stage. But of these fights that I do, there's only one Pokemon that isn't a one-hit, so honestly, most of these fights are pretty boring, so if you have anything more to say, this will be a good time.
Thanks, Wester. So we have $250 donation from TLF. Great job, all. Donation goes to Runner's Choice.
Yeah, I'll get back to that later, after my run. That's a great donation, though. Very generous. Thank you very much for that. 7 Aerial Aces. Yeah, so the one Pokemon... well, the gimmick of the gym as well is that it's dark. It's actually very easy to fall off on this gym. You've got like 1 tile width to walk across. It's not too bad at the start of this run, but it's not that easy for me to pay attention to what I'm doing. Because obviously, when you're doing marathon runs like this, you're not in your own comfortable setup, and it can throw you off just a little bit when it comes to really precise movement. I haven't fallen off yet, but it's a decent chance that I will fall off between the 3rd and the 4th trainer. I mean, I fall off on that all the time anyway. It's tight. You can just take it safe and just walk a couple of the tiles, but I never do that. So I had to Aerial Ace that Haunter because Pursuit just wasn't a guaranteed kill, but with the extra level here, Pursuit's a guaranteed kill on this one. So the 3rd trainer has a higher level Haunter that I'm not going to take out in one hit. It can use Sucker Punch, Curse, or Confuse Ray. Ideally, it would use Curse. It's very likely to be using Sucker Punch. It's its most likely option. And so Sucker Punch is a priority move that only works if you're using a damage dealing move. And so often you'll actually use Leer first to then take it out in one hit. But because I have such high health, I don't actually care about taking more damage. So I'm just going to use Pursuit in case it did use Curse. And then it would kill itself because Curse makes it reduce its own health by half. But I've got enough health going into Morty with how much I've got anyway, so it's not a big deal taking that extra damage, and it's the same amount of turns as if I'd used Leer. So better to just play for that percentage. So yeah, this is where I'm very likely to fall off. Here we go. Oh, I made it. Beautiful. Okay, I'm not sure how many Aerial Aces I've got. I think I've got 6. I want 4 for Morty. Hit all of his pokes with 1. So I'll use 2 on this fight. I need to hit the Haunter with 1, so I'll Pursuit the first Ghastly and then Aerial Ace the last 2. So the amount of health that I need going into Morty is I need to have more than half of my health. The risk with Morty is him using Curse. So Curse, as I mentioned before, it makes them reduce their own health by half, but then every turn it makes me lose 1/4 of my health. So if he manages to get off a Curse on me, I need to be able to take 2 Curse damage intervals, basically, and still be alive. And then, if that happens, I can then revive, switch out, and then revive again, and still win the fight, but it is very slow if that happens. So he leads Ghastly, then he sends out Haunter, then he sends out Gengar, and so the Ghastly always dies. So all of his Pokemon except Gengar have Curse. So I want to be setting up on Gengar. I can kill the Ghastly fine, but the Haunter is a 50-50 range on whether I take it out in one hit or not. And then it can use Curse, it can use Hypnosis. So if I miss it, I would actually prefer it to use Hypnosis. Curse is really bad, even though it would make it die straight away, because then I've got Curse going up on Gengar, and that's not good. But if he uses Hypnosis, he's very, very likely to use Dream Eater the next turn. And so I can just heal there. So yeah, as I mentioned, it's 50-50. Very, very critical damage roll here. Got it. Alright, beautiful. Okay, so now on Gengar. Gengar, as I mentioned, has Shadow Ball that does nothing. Its only other thing that can do damage is Sucker Punch. So I'm going to lead with Leer, then I'm going to use the X attack. So this will make it so that I always take out the Haunter in one hit. There's Hypnosis. That's a bit of a shame. I'll just heal that with one of my Awakenings. And so now he can't do anything here. And then I'm going to use Aerial Ace. After a Leer and an X attack, this is a 15 and 16 range to kill. So it's very likely. Got it, no worries. And now I'll just one-hit the last Haunter with Aerial Ace as well. And so that will be Morty done. And this is going to be the last fight that I use Kenya for. I'm now going to switch my main. And so this is... what's going to be coming up now is going to be probably the most critical part of the run for whether I get a good time or not. There's just a huge amount of variance on this part. So what I'm going to catch is a Magikarp, which might sound weird for people who know Pokemon because Magikarp is so weak, but the reason I'm going to catch it is it's such a high level. So the way repels work in this game is it makes it so that you can't encounter Pokemon that are lower level than you. Not that you can't encounter any Pokemon at all. You can still get Pokemon that are higher level than you. And so I'm going to go onto this patch of water now that I can use Surf, where 99% of the encounters are Magikarps that are between level, I think it's 5 and 25. And so by using a repel, I can't get any of those because I'm level 29. But there's a 1% chance that if I get an encounter, it is a level 50 Magikarp, which is a huge level boost. And then I can just use a rare candy and it will evolve straight into Gyarados. And Gyarados is a very, very good Pokemon, very powerful. Unfortunately, that means my chance every time I have an encounter tick to get an encounter is 1 in 1,000. Because it's a 1% chance to get the Magikarp, and then it's a 10% chance to get the encounter. And that's after doing, as I mentioned before, the increasing the chance of getting an encounter with the opposite direction counters. So that means the median amount of time that it takes to get this encounter once I start hunting for it, because it takes 6 frames for every turn frame, is 69 seconds. And the average amount of time is almost exactly 100 seconds. But the slowest amount of time that it's taken for anyone is, I believe, about 13 minutes. So the difference between having something happen instantly, obviously it can just show up straight away, and 13 minutes is absolutely massive. And obviously it's a large portion of the way into the run. So this is the patch of water now. So I'm going to be doing a couple of opposite directions. Actually, I'm going to go up a bit, and then I'm going to do the opposite directions, and then I'm going to twirl in a circle. And so every single one of these turn frames, as I mentioned, 1 in 1,000 chance. And so I'm just going to be twirling the... So this is also why I'm playing on 3DS. I have a circle pad, and I'm just twirling the circle pad to just go in a circle over and over and over again. And so the reason this is better than actually surfing on the tiles is, 1, it's faster, because the turn frame is 6 frames and doing a tile is 8 frames. But also, this isn't actually taking up steps on my repel, because I'm not actually taking any steps. So by doing this, I don't wear out the repel. And if I was surfing around, I could need to use, 300 repels, and I just don't have the money for that. So it's better to just sit on the spot and twirl around. And yeah, this can happen for a long, long time. So strap in, ladies and gentlemen.
Would you mind if I did a shout out to one of our sponsors, Worcester?
Yeah, go ahead, the way it is going.
Cool. So, one of our sponsors is HyperX. HyperX are a major sponsor for this event, and it's terrific to have them on board to support the Game on Cancer initiative. They make fantastic headsets, microphones, keyboards, mice, and plenty more products, so no matter what you play, if you're into gaming, they have something for you, and we can all attest to that here. We've got their headsets, I'm using the mic right now, and yeah, definitely go check them out. Thank you, HyperX.
Yeah, so one of the kind of like long-running jokes is speedrunners being athletes or not. And so I would always laugh at it because it's like, you know, you're not doing any physical activity or whatever. But doing this actually hurts your hand so much if you do it for several minutes. My wrist is already collapsing. Hopefully it shows up soon. I think we're past the point where this is now officially bad luck, because that's typically where my hands start to hurt. I haven't actually taken any extra tiles. It's actually really important that you don't. The rappel only just makes it to where you want to. There we go. Got it. Beautiful. Okay, so obviously the stats of this Magikarp, it's going to be the main for the rest of the run. This is also why I bought the netball. The stats and just everything about this Magikarp is really important. The first thing that matters is whether it's a boy or a girl. And unfortunately, I got a boy. You much prefer getting a girl. So that's going to make the last two fights of this run, which are already absolutely terrible, much, much worse. Which is a shame, but it's a 50-50 chance, so you do prepare for playing as a boy as well. It's just you much rather get a girl. So I'm also giving that a one character name. And then I'm going to get off the water. I'm going to go up here. Bell's going to wear off. I'm just going to wait for this guy to spin. Then we're going to pick up another rare candy. And now I'm going to use those rare candies on Magikarp, and we're going to check its stats. So the first stat I'm going to check as a Magikarp is speed, as it gets this level. 81! Oh my goodness. That is almost the lowest it can possibly be. That is absolutely terrible. Okay. So I was hoping for triple digits for reference, and I got 81. So that's guaranteed to be minus speed. The lowest you can get without a minus speed nature is 87. So it's minus and it's a low IV. That's actually so bad. Attack is bad, defense is bad, health is bad. Everything that I looked at is bad. That's fantastic. I almost swore 7 times there. Okay. Teach strength. I'll switch Gyarados later. Just going to do a setup for the spinner here, hopefully. Beautiful. That is going to be a safe pass. Switch here. Okay, I'm just going to jump this ledge. You can skip jumping this ledge, but it's fine. So now, the first fight that I'm going to do with Gyarados is going to be against a trainer that looks like is totally optional. And I guess, technically they are optional, but for a tweak that I'm going to do later, I actually need to fight this trainer because their vision is right in where the load lines are, so I need to fight them anyway. And it's best to fight them now because both of these Pokemon, the Nidorino and the Nidorino, have Poison Point, and I actually want to activate that, so that's a 30% chance when I hit it with a contact move that it's going to poison me, and I want to get poisoned. There we go, straight away. Okay, I'm poisoned. So the reason I want to get poisoned is Gyarados, one of its moves that you're seeing now is Flail. And so Flail does more damage the lower your health is. And so I'm going to use that poison to reduce me to 15 health. Just writing down my stats really quickly. So that Flail's power will be 150. So I'm going to be taking a lot of poison ticks. Workshop's calling me. Oh yeah, I've just got to count the poison perfectly to get there. It's actually better if you get poison on one of the last hits than the first hits, because it's just easy to count from there. I should be fine though. So I used the repel earlier again, then it looked like I had to, so it wears off here. I want to get an encounter in this room. Either a Machop or a Geodude. Come on, give me an encounter. Thank you. Either a Machop or a Geodude, please. Geodude, okay. So I'm going to catch this. I need a Pokemon to teach Rock Climb to for later on in the run. Oh my word. I really thought I'd taken that Geodude out. That did so much more than it usually does. Okay. And then I'm going to chuck the Ultra Ball at that. That will definitely catch. So I'm at 79 health. So I need to count down to 15. Just thinking where that'll be. So that's 64. Okay, I'm just going to have to do this in the middle of nowhere and try and YOLO it. So now that I've caught the poke, I'm going to use the Super Repel. Geodude is better to get than Machop, so at least that was nice. With Machop, you would take it out if you used Flail. So to weaken it, to make it a guaranteed catch, you have to switch out to Fearow and use Pursuit, which is obviously a bit slower than just hitting it with Gyarados. So now I'm going to head off to Chuck and get Fly. So Fly is actually this badge and Fly are technically optional in this run, and in the Manips run you don't get them. But in this run, because you do a bit more flying around the map, it's actually faster to go and get it. Trying to count these poison ticks. It's really hard when you're on the bike. You can't just count 1, 2, 3, 4. It happens way faster than that. I think I'll be able to make it to the first hidden item. I'm not sure. If I go under, I can... Oh no, I can't Oran Berry because I have no Oran Berries. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see if I'm at 15. I'm going to equip the Pecha Berry and see how much health I'm at. 18. Okay, so I've got 3 more. Just get to 3, please. Thank you. And now I'm going to use a Pecha Berry just to cure that. So the reason you want to be at 15 is it's the highest amount that is exactly Flail 150. And so there's a few Pokemon that have Quick Attack that can do like 11 to 14 damage, basically. And so by being at 15, they won't use Quick Attack. So like I could go all the way to 1 health, and that would be really easy to tick off, but then you would die to Quick Attack, and so that doesn't work. So you have to count to exactly 15. If you have better health, you can go to 16, but I don't have good health. But that's all good. So now we're going to surf off to Chuck. So yeah, getting this for Fly. As I mentioned, it is optional, but faster for this run. Another Super Repel, just a nice casual little stroll through the water. So there's a lot of weird things in this game that it look like they don't matter, but they really do. So like the lines that I biked down to the water there made one of the swimmers on the water load earlier than you can make her. And so if I'd done what looked like the exact same movement that I did there, but I took different lines on the beach before I got to the water, that swimmer actually would have hit me, because she wouldn't have loaded as early, the one that was swimming left and right. And so if she had loaded later, she still would have been looking left, and she actually would have caught me as I was trying to go down. So you've got to pay attention to quite a few things in this run to play optimally. So yeah, Flail 150 will make it so that I can just one-hit Chuck's pokes, hopefully. I think I have the attack to make that guaranteed. So I know I have minus speed. I have no idea what my plus nature is. It must be special attack, which special attack is entirely useless in this run. So that's fantastic. That's arguably the worst nature you can possibly get. So I just have to wait a little bit so that Walker doesn't get me. I have to reset this gym so that I can get access to the switch that allows me to fight Chuck earlier. And then we're just going to fight Chuck, and that's just going to be an easy 2-hit. But after Chuck, we're going to get Fly, and then we can fly around the map, and we're going to get quite a few things. But right after we get Fly, I'm going to get Shucky. And Shucky is basically the whole reason that I started running this category. There is an incredibly cool strat for the very last fight of the run that involves Shucky. It's actually set up later on. I guess I'll explain it when I get to it, because if I don't explain it then as well, it's going to look really, really bizarre. But I didn't start running this category until... Like, I wasn't running this category and someone was like, yo, come up with an idea for this. And then I came up with the Shucky idea. And then I had to run the category. So yeah, this will be... It is nice that I've got poisoned at least, that I can just one-hit these two things. I'm really worried about my speed though. There's so many things that are going to outspeed me that should not be outspeeding me, because my speed is just so bad. Yep, got the one hit. That's good. That's easy. So that's the 5th gym leader that I've beaten. In this run, I will be beating 6 gym leaders. So there's only 1 more to go. So we're getting there. So the next part of this run is a bit of cleanup. I get Fly, and so I'm now going to get like quite a few items, like almost every item that I need for the rest of the game. So a few rare candies to give myself extra levels. I'm also going to get a couple of items for money. I need to sell a lot of items for extra money so that I can get all of the X items that I need for the rest of the run. X items, in-battle items that increase your stats by, first one's 50%, second one puts you to 200%, then 250, etc. Very good for, and very necessary to win some of the harder fights. So there's the Shucky. So just like Kenya, it has set stats. It always has the exact same stats, which is really, really important, and it's why it works. But the strat isn't coming up for quite a while, so I'll let that one sit with you. If you haven't seen it before, try and figure out what I could be doing with Shucky. So using another Super Repel there to save the menu, we're going to teach Fly to Kenya. Just quickly check, it is possible to have Pokerus here, but I never get Pokerus. Pokerus is a 3 in 65,536 chance to happen after every battle. A few runners have had it happen in runs. I actually don't think anyone's had it in Manipulus. Oh, sorry, in any percent. But plenty have had it in Manipulus Glitchless, which is a bit longer run. This run is actually really nice, though, in that basically all of the stuff that you skip, because you skip a pretty decent, like, well over an hour of this run, but you basically skip all of the boring fights. All of the really difficult and interesting fights are still in this run, and I mean, they're more difficult because you're lower level, skipping all of the boring fights. But all of the interesting parts remain. So get that rare candy. Now I'm going to fly over here, and I'm going to do Waterfall Tweak, which is why I fought that Poison Point Trainer with the Nidorino in the Nidorino earlier. So this is another load tweak. This one is actually quite tricky. Oh no, this is a Void Tweak, sorry. But it's the same principle, it just is a different tweak. No, wrong. No, wrong. Right. Okay, I'm going to wait for the spinner to look and then look away again to make it safe. He is taking so long. I was actually bragging to Lime that that's never happened to me before. So that's karma. So it's loaded the thing to the left to the right here, so now I'm on water in the town. That's obviously not supposed to happen, and then I'm going to refresh. And now what's happened here is the guard to the right here, who's supposed to stop me, is underground, so I'm just going to bike over his head. See you later. So that allows me to get to this area early, which is going... I could now go to where the 8th gym is, but I have no interest in going to where the 8th gym is. The 8th gym allows me to use Waterfall... outside, like in the overworld, and you're supposed to do that in order to get to Kanto, but I actually do not need to do that. But I do want Waterfall still. I just don't need access to it, because Waterfall is a really good move for Gyarados, because it's 80 power, it's physical, and Gyarados is a physical mon. It's got way better physical attack than special attack, and it's water type, which is the same type. There's also a seemingly random chance to get a glitch on the exit here. See if it happens. No. Okay. You can make it so that the trainer just isn't spinning. We really have no idea why it happens. It has nothing to do with going fast or going slow or anything. It just randomly sometimes happens. But anyway, it's all good. So now I'm going to fly to Goldenrod. I'm going to get the last little bit of items here. I'm going to get one more candy and one more nugget to sell. And then I'm going to go up to the mart and buy all of the items. So the items that I buy vary based on the run. And on this run... I am going to have to buy so many more X speeds because my speed is so bad. I actually think I'm going to sell a few more items than I usually do as well. Because you generally sell TMs, and I think I'm just going to sell all my TMs instead of keeping some of them. Yeah, so I've got all the items. Now we'll just go to the mart. And then after the mart, I'm going to fly back to New Bark Town, and I'm going to do the thing that gets you to get to Kanto early, skipping Waterfall. And it is tweaking. In case you haven't noticed the pattern, all of the glitches in this run are tweaking. There are other glitches in this game, but not particularly useful for the speedrun route. There are things that you can do like the Rage glitch, for instance. Allows you to teach moves over Rage. And basically with pokes that have like Metronome, you can have them have like... Metronome? What am I talking about? Transform. You can have them have any move. I actually just sold all my TMs, and I just realized I probably wasn't supposed to do that. Anyway, so we'll buy... How many XPs do I want? I'm going to get 8. I think 8 should be enough. I hope 8 is enough. We'll get... 28 X attacks. I had bad defense, so I need more X defense. And we'll get 6 of these, I think. Should be enough. Yeah, that money looks good. Because I don't have a full heal, I have to buy full heals here as well. So buy all of the max repels that I need for the rest of the run as well, which is 8. Do I want 2 full heals or just 1? Because I can just buy 7 and then 1. I think we're going to do that. 7 and then 1, and then left with just $56. Yeah. That's the right play, because I do want 7 hyper potions, especially being a male. You can easily run out of healing items. So yeah, I'm going to go to New Bucktown, and so this tweak, it's a double tweak. You have to do 2, and I would like to extend it to 3. You only get 1 chance at the 3rd tweak, though. It's not a big deal if I miss it. It's just to get an extra rare candy, but that extra rare candy can be really, really helpful, especially given I don't have great stats. I will check my special defense here. I didn't quite see it when I was doing the rare candies before, as I teach Waterfall to Gyarados. $120. It is plus special attack minus speed. That is the worst nature. Very cool. And then I'm going to use a max repel, and now we're going to do some tweaking. Alright, let's go. Nope. Yes. Okay. So that's the first one. So you can see this is kind of wrong. This was another load tweak, so I've loaded the left part of the map onto the right part of the map, and then I'm going to do that again. Beautiful. And then I'm going to go for triple. Here we go. Let's go triple. Nope, didn't get it. Okay, so I didn't get the candy. So the reason that you only get 1 chance at that last one is the height just isn't right if you mess it up the first time, so you just cannot pick up the rare candy. You just aren't at the right height to do it. But as I mentioned, it's not a huge deal. I don't think with my stats it's a big deal. Oh, I've got to wait for this. No! Dang. I got spun. Yeah, I was going to wait for the spinner. My reaction time was a bit slow. If you do react fast enough on the bike, you can always get past them on the bike. I think I'm the only person who actually tries to do fast react on the bike, because you do have to be really, really quick. But she spun away really fast after I started waiting, and yeah, just was too slow. Not good enough. But yeah, most people... Oh no, this has poison point, doesn't it? I think I will die if I get poison point here. Don't do it. 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 It didn't do it. Alright, good. Thank you very much. Star you. I'll strength this, I guess. Oh, I really want to stay in Flail. Unfortunately, by hitting the spinner, I'm actually going to get level 53 early, which is going to put me out of Flail. It's going to put me to Flail, or it'll put me out of Flail 150, and so I'll be at Flail 100. Hitting that spinner does cost a little bit of time. They've got 3 pokes. You can actually surf around them. I was considering doing that, but then I didn't. What? Okay, this is also a spinner. I just went straight into them, apparently. I was trying to stop the tile before them, but I just didn't, apparently. Because if you bonk right before them, it's a setup. So the setups for spinners are basically that... I mentioned before they're on 32 frame cycles, and so if you load them at specific times and then just like pause right in front of them, it can be on a part like between the 32 frame cycles. So basically when you pause, it's right at the start of one of those cycles, and so if it's open and then not looking in that direction, you can just go and it's completely safe. I'm gonna get level 53 really early now. This is not great. I'm not really sure what to do now. This is interesting. I haven't used a max repel. I should do that now. Yeah, I don't think I've ever hit both of those spinners in a run before. Because ideally I would have Flail 150 for this first trainer and then for most of the next trainer. But I'm going to get it partway through this trainer, I think. I think I'm going to get it now after the Victory Bell, aren't I? That's not good. I'm going to try and take this out in one hit. I don't think it's going to happen though. Oh, I did. Okay. Good ranges saved the day again. That was definitely a range. There's no way that was guaranteed. I'm just going to Waterfall. I can't remember if Strength kills that. I'm running low on flails because I had to use a couple of flails on the spinners that I hit as well. So Flail 100, it is a pretty decent chance to take out this next trainer, so it shouldn't be a big deal there. I'm also a bit concerned about the rival fight in Victory Road because I'm going to be slower than his Sneasel because my speed is so low. So I'm going to have to heal before the fight. I think it might be Berry Juice. I took the Berry Juice off Shuckle. It starts with Berry Juice. It's just faster to take it off for later on in the run. But it can also be used in really weird niche situations like this, just to restore 20 health. I think it's the right play. Yeah, so like that Flareon from before and this Vaporeon both have Quick Attack. From what I was mentioning before about not wanting to be at 1 health. I've only got 1 Flail left. So I can't use it on Rapidash. I'm going to have to Waterfall that. Because I want the last Flail to be on Rivals for Alligator. Which is the last Pokemon before I get to the Elite Four. And I get to use the Sinnoh. Oh yeah, so I should have mentioned those tweaks that I did before. Skipped like, you know, an hour of the game. Something like that. Because you're supposed to have 8 badges. And I only have 5. Like, you're supposed to go through all of the specific flags and whatever. You can't get to Claire's gym, the 8th gym, until you beat the first 7 and then do the Radio Tower segment, where you're really over-leveled and overpowered. But because they have specific flag dependencies for all of those things to happen and to work, they don't check the next flag, which... It's unlucky that I got static there. Which you're going to see here. So, to get into Victory Road, you're supposed to have all 8 badges, and so there's this guy here who is in this gate. He's going to check for my 8 badges, and obviously I do not have 8 badges, so you would think it would be a problem to get by him, but fortunately he is not very good at his job, and he just thinks I have the 8 badges of Johto, and we're on my way. What's really silly about that is, in the original Gold and Silver, he actually does check if you have 8 badges. Somehow in the remake, he got much lazier at his job. But that is very good for us, because if he did, there would actually be no way to get past him, and you would have to do all of the 8 badges, so very fortunate. So Victory Road is just use lots of max repels and get to the end. I am going to pick up a couple of items here. Some of them are going to be for money, because I'm going to buy full restores, and I used up like all of my money in Goldenrod. I'm going to pick up 1 more rare candy, and I'm also going to pick up the TM for Earthquake for Gyarados. So in the glitchless run, you actually don't pick up Earthquake. It's not worth it. Gyarados is powerful enough, but because you are at a lower level in this run, the extra power of Earthquake being 100 power, where all my other moves are generally about 100. Oh, sorry, about 80. Like Waterfall is 80, Strength is 80, Flail varies. The extra power for Earthquake is very, very helpful for... Oh my goodness, get these items. Is very helpful for some of the fights afterwards. We actually don't have too many more fights left in this run, but they are much longer fights. They've got lots more pokes, and they are much more difficult, so they take much longer. It's the last max repel in Victory Road. We're just going to duck down this hole and get the TM for Earthquake. Oh yeah, I said I was going to heal. So I think it's Berry Juice. I actually can't remember. But I think that's right. You know what? I think my defenses are pretty good. We're just going to do Berry Juice and we'll see what happens. Berry Juice, there it is. So heal 20. I also have to full heal. which I absolutely would have forgotten if I did not use the berry juice, because it wasn't until I saw the paralysis there that I was like, I should heal that. And then teach Earthquake to Gyarados. Get rid of the tackle. Go back up, get this rare candy, and then fight Rival. I'm still thinking about where I should use these candies, actually. Usually you use them after Rival, because you just hit level 54, but I'm actually going to be like level 54.7 or something. So the first rare candy seems like a bit of a waste, but I want to use the candies before Will. I'm not sure there's anything else that I can do. So yeah, as I mentioned, because my speed's really low, I'm going to have to use an X speed on this fight, because his Sneasel, Haunter, and Kadabra are all going to outspeed me, which they shouldn't be. Even with like... I actually don't know what the IV is, but it's like, you know, 80-90% of Gyarados would outspeed all of this guy's pokes. But I'm just nowhere near. So I'm going to X speed here. Because I'm slower, he won't use Icy Wind though, he'll use Feint Attack. Oh, that's a crit, I'm dead. That's a shame. We'll send in Geodude. I'll just use a Revive. I still have extra revives, yep. Now I don't get to use Flail in this fight, unfortunately. I should steal like speed. I'm now worried I don't have enough X speeds, because I'm using an extra here. I've got 6. I need 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 7. This is a problem. I'm gonna have to forgo one somewhere. Yeah, so I can just Earthquake the Magneton. So, yeah, pokes like that Magneton, the Slowbro on Will coming up. Earthquake is just really good. What should I do with this speed? I think I'm going to skip the one on Bruno and just risk Hitmonlee. I think it's what I have to do. Yeah, this fight shouldn't be too much of a problem though. I think it's a range on Golbat, but I'm not going to use X attacks because I am worried about running out of X items. I think my attack isn't too bad, it's only a little bit below average. Yeah, got it. It's all good. Range is the only good luck that I'm actually having in this run. Everything else is not going to plan as much as I would like. So I'm just going to have to take this out with double Earthquake. So if that, if the Sneasel Feint Attack did not crit, what I would have done was I would have been hit to about 21 health or something like that. And then on Golbat, I would have used an X attack, and then Golbat would have hit me to about 5 health, and then Flail would have one-hit the Feraligatr. But I actually got lucky on the ranges on Feraligatr too, because my first one did under half, and my first one did way over, so it skipped the half health checks that I was talking about on Rival 1. To pick up the last rare candy here. I'm just going to use all the candies here. Even though the first one does seem like a bit of a waste. That's a Hyper Potion, that is not a rare candy. Yeah, I'm going to go to level 58. Actually, I should have a look at my speed at level 58 to see whether I need one for Will. I'm pretty certain I do. But if I can skip the X speed on Will, that would be fantastic. Oh, I am not even close. Yeah, you need 95 is the speed tie on Will, and I have 92. My goodness. Not great. Okay, so now we're into Elite Four. I'm going to go to the PC, and I'm going to put Gyarados in there to heal Gyarados. I'm going to leave Quilava in there. The reason I'm going to do that is, in the Hall of Fame, there's a sequence that shows all of the Pokemon that you bring in. And so having the least amount of Pokemon there, the better. Selling the PP up and the HP up. I'm actually thinking about buying a couple of revives here and forgoing a full restore because I only have one revive. Okay, I'm definitely going to do that. I don't understand why I haven't... Oh, it's because I hit both the spinners. That's why I have so much extra money, because they gave me money. Okay, definitely the right play then. Just a bit safer. So yeah, now we'll go into the Elite Four. So there's actually only... How many fights left in this run? 8. So the Elite Four is not aptly named. There's actually 5 fights in the Elite Four, and then there's only 3 fights left for that to beat the run. So the run doesn't end at the Elite Four, it ends at Red. And so to beat Red, you're supposed to do this whole... You're supposed to go back to Kanto, get 8 badges in Kanto, and then that activates Red once you've got 16 badges. But I'll explain when I get there that, yeah, with glitches, you don't actually have to do quite as much. So I'm going to set up on this Xatu. We're going to go 3x attacks and 1x speed. He's going Confuse Ray. That's probably ideal. I'm probably going to use a full restore after I'm all set up. Sometimes you can use a full heal, because you want Flail for Lance, the champion of the Elite Four, the last fight. And so you kind of want to be going with a lower amount of health. But because my speed... Have I used 3? I think I used 3. Yeah, I used 3. And now the X speed. Because my speed's so low, I'm going to have to be using a few extra turns here and there. So my health is going to be too low for that. So I'm just going to use the full restore, take me back up to full health, and cure the confusion at the same time. It's also a bit safer to do this. I do this quite often anyway, so I'm totally fine with that decision. But so, yeah, if I didn't use the X speed, I think even the Xatu's would have outsped me, but Will's Jinx definitely would have outsped me, and it can put me to sleep, and I really don't want that to happen. I also don't want to be slower when I start attacking, especially the Xatu's, because if they're faster, they can then use Confuse Ray, and then I don't have the turn to heal myself, and then I hit myself in Confusion. And Confusion is you attacking yourself, so because my attack's so high, it actually does so much damage as well, if I were to hit myself. But yeah, this fight, this is definitely the easiest of the Elite Four. It is just set up on the Xatu, however much you need, heal, and then you one-hit all of his pokes. All of the other fights have things that can go pretty wrong, but Will's pretty easy. And so yeah, these trainers, the Elite Four, they have extra text for their last poke, so they come out when they send it out, as well as if it gets hit to half health. But I should be one-hitting every single poke that I hit in the Elite Four. I set up enough to be one-hitting all of them. That's the idea anyway, so you never see the half health text boxes. In fact, I don't even know what they are for the Elite Four. Could not tell you. So my attack is not good enough to do non-X attack Gyarados. If you've got good attack, you can just hit the Gyarados and then set up... I need to set up 2 X attacks on Koga regardless. But it's better to set them up on Forretress, because Forretress can do very little damage. Its attacking move is Swift, that does like 13. Whereas Gyarados can use Poison Jab. It can also use Spiderweb. If it uses Spiderweb, this is totally fine, and that's good. It's going Poison Jab, so that's going to do a bit of damage. Still didn't do that much. And, you know, taking more damage, as I mentioned before, because I want Flail for Lance, can actually be beneficial. Because I did full restore on Will. Taking a bit more damage here and there, not too bad. So I'm going to go the second X attack here. Hopefully Forretress is using Protect this turn. It is. Now it's less likely to pick Protect now, and so I can get the hit in. That's beautiful. The other thing that you can be slightly worried about here is Waterfall PP, but I do have the spare Ether because I didn't use the Ether on Kenya during that segment because I kept enough Aerial Aces. So even if I've run out of Waterfalls, I can just Ether them and it's not too bad, so I'm not really worried about Waterfall PP at all. There's a few pokes that you can use Earthquake on to save a Waterfall PP. I'll probably do it on Hitmonchan on Bruno. But so yeah, this Crobat's going to be faster than me, generally goes Double Team, and it's gone Wing Attack. That's actually really nice. So that's done a bit more damage to me as well, and so if it spams Double Team, you can just... Double Team increases its evasion, so you then only have a 75% chance to hit it on turn 1, and it just gets lower and lower and lower and lower and lower, and it can just get to the point where you just don't hit it, and it just trolls you forever. Nothing else you can do. Venomoth has low defense, so I can just hit it with Strength. So I decided I'm going to skip the X speed on Bruno. Okay, so Bruno's Hitmonlee is going to outspeed me. That can be potentially dangerous because it's going to use, well, it can use Swagger. So Swagger confuses you and increases your attack by 2 stages. So it makes it so if you do hit yourself in confusion, you take even more damage from confusion. I think I have enough health that I won't just immediately die if it happens, but it will be quite a bit of time loss. Because I'll have to full restore and then I'll end up being at way too high health. But okay, I'm just going to X attack on Hitmontop. Hitmontop's only damaging move is Quick Attack, it's used it there. So I've now probably taken enough damage. 80's kind of okay going into the 4th fight Karen, because you generally take a little bit on Karen. 80 going into Lance would be totally fine as well. I don't want to be too low. I also don't have any low healing items as well, so if I want to heal like 10 or 20 health, I have no orange berries, I have no potions, I have no berry juice. I think I do have super potions, because I saved those 2 that I bought at Ecruteak. So if I do have to super potions, so be it. I think Machamp is guaranteed. With low attack, this can be arranged, but I think it's guaranteed. I'm not sure. I got it anyway. It's all good. And then the last one is going to be Hitmonlee. So hopefully it just doesn't use Swagger. If it does use Swagger, hopefully it misses, or hopefully I get through confusion. There's lots of outs here. Focus energy! I did not even know it had that. Okay, that's beautiful. Yeah, that just does nothing, and that's just a free kill. So yeah, 80, I'm actually really happy with this health going into Karen. But Karen can be really, really bad. I definitely have to X speed on Karen, because she has quite a few pokes that are going to be faster than me. But so I have to set up 2 X attacks to take out her Umbreon in 1 hit. And the Umbreon also has double team, and it's high chance to use double team. So it can get 2 evasion boosts before I can start attacking it. And at that stage, I only have a 3 in 5 chance of hitting it. Which is not that high. And then if it keeps using double team, it just gets lower and lower and lower. So, not good. I don't want to set up the X speed on Umbreon. I want to set it up later. There's a double team. This is where you have a pretty decent chance of using extra waterfall PP that you don't want to. And there's a double team. Alright, please hit. No. There's a double team. So now I'm 50-50 to hit. No. There's 4. Now I'm less than 50-50. Now it's 3 and 7. Alright, got it. Whew. That could have been a lot worse. It could have been much better too, though. So I'm going to set up the X speed on Houndoom. I'm not sure when Houndoom's going to come out. I don't want to set it up on Murkrow. Murkrow can use Whirlwind. It can also use Pluck and steal my Pecha Berry. So I equip the Pecha Berry in case I get poisoned by something. So like Ariados's Poison Jab could have got me before. And it's also helpful for Red as well. Is Venusaur with Sludge Bomb. There's Nasty Plot, so no damage from Houndoom. So I'm going to take about 80 going into Lance. So Lance does about 20. I've got pretty good defenses. I think I should be able to take 3 hits. Oh, sorry, 4 hits. I think so. I don't have orange berries if I don't. Because what have I got? 83? Yeah, I think I'll be fine. So I think I'll be able to X speed and 3x attack. And then just be able to go in with Flail. So it would have been nicer to have a little bit more damage. A little bit, either like 10 more health or 20 less. But this is probably the safest position, I guess, especially if he does pick Dragon Pulse. So, yeah, Lance, he's got 2 moves, both ice. He leads with the Gyarados as well. Mine's a lot better. But depending on whether your defense or your special defense is better, he can use either Ice Fang or Dragon Pulse because they do almost the same amount of damage, and Ice Fang is physical and Dragon Pulse is special. My special defense is a bit better than my defense, but it does start at Dragon Pulse doing more, so they might be doing exactly the same amount of damage actually. But it should be about 20, so I'm going to lead the X speed. And hopefully I can tank 4. Okay, he's going Dragon Pulse. That's more ideal. So that's 19. 18. That's 20. And then as long as this one doesn't crit, we're all good. Beautiful. So now I can use Flail and take his whole team out. I will hit the Aerodactyl with Waterfall, but all of the others I can hit with Flail. Because I've got the boost, and it'll be Flail 150. But that's all I need with all of those X attacks. So it's almost perfect for Lance. You can get away with just 2 X attacks if you get to Flail 200. But you're almost never guaranteed to be at Flail 200. Like, Flail 200 at my health would be 5. So I'm actually not in Flail 200. But I'm very close. But obviously with the ranges, I could have been hit into Flail 200. So, because your range for getting Flail 200 is so low, it's being at 1 to 5 health. You're almost never in a situation where you're guaranteed to be hit to at least 5 or lower. But also, you won't die. You'll always be at 1+. Like, that just doesn't happen because the range for the attack is like, it'll do 17 to 21. And so there's just too much variance there because over 3 hits, that's, 51 to 63. So you can never be guaranteed to be hit to Flail 200. So going the 150 is generally the better play. And you get the level up mid-fight as well, but that's just before Charizard, and Charizard is very weak and dies anyway. But I still prefer using Flail here to Waterfall for the super effective. So okay, that was the Elite Four. I didn't die. That actually wasn't too bad. And I did save the X-Speed on Bruno, so I will be fine on X-Speeds now. I probably don't have to X-Speed on Blue, but I definitely need 2 for Red. And it just does give me 1 backup as well. Okay, so now we are going to get the Hall of Fame in the credits, but obviously, as I said, this is not the end of the run. This is the first part of the run, the first region done, Johto, and then we're going to do Kanto. But there's actually, even though there's, you might be looking at the estimate, and when I say there's only 3 fights left, you might be like, yo, that's crazy, because it looks like there's still so much of the run left to go. But there's still quite a bit of movement that you have to do, a lot of maneuvering to make it so that there's only 3 fights left. And also, well, 2 of those 3 fights are the longest fights in the run. One of them is very short. But yeah, this is the Hall of Fame. And so, yeah, you might have thought, given I deposited Quilava, why wouldn't you deposit all of the other Pokemon as well? But yeah, I do need all of the others for the rest of the run. I need Sentret for Surf, I need Kenya for Fly, I need Geodude for Rock Climb, and I need Shucky for the Red Strat. So I have to do a soft reset here. My 3DS is a bit finicky with soft resets. Sometimes both the start and the R button do not work, and I have to use LR Start Select to soft reset, so I can actually lose time on just getting this to work, because the buttons just don't work. They're not needed for anything else in the run. Like, to play the game, you do not need Start or R whatsoever. You do need L, because that's another mashing button. But my L works, but my R doesn't, even though I don't use it. Figure that out. It doesn't make any sense to me. But it's all good. So once it starts saving does take a while in Gen 4, unfortunately. Then I can hold the buttons and hope the soft reset works. In-game time was up to. That's actually not as bad as I thought it might be. If the screen goes white, then it worked. If it doesn't, then... uh-oh. I have to keep pressing the buttons. Good. Excellent. Okay. Please do not applaud that. Oh my god. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is set up the cool Shuckle strat that I mentioned before. So, well, I'm actually going to go to Elm and get the SS ticket first. But so what I'm going to do, and it's going to look very, very bizarre, is I'm going to get an encounter on Route 29, the first route just outside the lab here, and I'm going to have it hit Shuckle 6 times so that Shuckle goes to exactly 35 out of 41 health. And so the reason this is really important is, so Red, the last fight of this run, is extremely powerful. So you've been seeing in all of these fights, I'm actually like just a bit higher level than... Oh, I've gotten a legendary beast. Unbelievable. That's Raikou. Yeah, alright, I'll throw the fastball. 1 in 64 chance. It actually would have been helpful to encounter it and catch it earlier, because I can teach Raikou Rock Climb, but I've already caught the Geodude. Yeah, not even a shake. Useless. Utterly useless. What a waste of time. So, I'm just trying to get a level 2 encounter. Here we go. Ideally, it's a Pidgey. It's a Sentret. Okay, that's better than Rattata, though. So I'm going to switch to Shuckle. I'm going to wait for the Sentret to use Scratch, and then I'm going to use Encore so that it keeps using Scratch and keeps attacking me, because it can be using Foresight. There's Scratch. Beautiful. Okay, Encore. So the reason... Yeah, this looks really weird. Like, this is a speedrun, bro. What are you doing? But the reason I want to go to 34... Yeah, Red leads Pikachu, and... Yeah, he's really overpowered. His Pikachu is level 88. And Electric is 4 times effective against Gyarados. So it has 2 different electric moves. It's got Thunderbolt and Volt Tackle. And both of them do over 300% of Gyarados' damage. It just instantly kills you. There's nothing you can do. You cannot win if you just send out Gyarados. You just lose. And none of my other Pokemon can do anything either. But Pikachu's moveset is Volt Tackle, Thunderbolt, Iron Tail, and Quick Attack. So Quick Attack is a priority move, which means it always goes first. And Red has Smart AI. And one of the conditions of Smart AI is if they have a priority move and it can kill, they always use the priority move because they think it's the better option, because I can kill with this move, let's just use that to make sure I can kill. But as I mentioned before, all moves have a damage roll of how much damage they can actually do, and it makes that decision based off the maximum damage from the calculation. And so by putting Shuckle to 35 health exactly, the maximum amount of damage that Red's Pikachu can do with Quick Attack is 35. So it will use Quick Attack against Shuckle. But it's not very likely to actually do 35. In fact, it's only a 1 in 16 chance to do 35. So the most likely scenario is it picks Quick Attack against Shuckle, and then I use Encore, and then Pikachu can only be using Quick Attack for the next 3 to 7 turns. And so once Shuckle dies, I can then send in Gyarados against the Quick Attack, and I can actually set up on Pikachu with Gyarados, and I can win the fight. And so whether it gets 3 to 7 Encore turns is really important, like how many I get. Only getting 3 is really bad, getting 7 is really good. But I can still win the fight regardless, because once I get past Pikachu, I can set up on other things. So in the worst case scenario, I set up 2x speeds on Pikachu, the Encore goes down, I kill Pikachu with Earthquake, and then I set up on something else. I would like to get more set up on Pikachu, but we'll just see what happens. So this is the 3rd last fight of the run. I'll explain more about what happens at Red when I get to it. But that's pretty much the gist of the start of that fight. So yeah, this is the 3rd last fight. It's just some fight that you have to do on the SS Aqua to get to Kanto. The 2nd last fight is Blue, and then the last fight is Red. But we have to do quite a bit of work to get to Blue as soon as we get to Kanto as the next fight. Oh, and so the reason female is better than male for Gyarados is if I was female, I would teach Gyarados Attract, and I would use Attract on both Blue and Red. The 50% chance for him to just be immobile, and, well, either of them to just be immobile and give you a free turn, ends up being really, really good and saves you quite a lot of especially healing turns from taking a lot of damage and then having to heal. Just getting those immobile turns can be so, so good. But I'm a male, I don't get to do that. The advantage of being the male is, because I don't teach Attract, I get to keep Flail. So if I manage to get, like, just absolutely fluke getting hit to Flail 200 on Red, I can save a bit of time doing that. It's so unlikely, though. Very, very rarely happens. So with Gyarados as well, with the moves, a lot of people always... I do get asked quite often with this run, why don't you teach Gyarados Dragon Dance? So Dragon Dance is a move that Gyarados does learn naturally. It learns it at level 44. And it increases its attack and speed in 1 turn. So you would think, oh, you know, that's better for setup than using an X attack and an X speed. And it would be, to be fair. But because you catch the Magikarp at level 50... and then you level it up to level 51, Gyarados doesn't learn it, because it's never at level 50, at level 44. It's as a Magikarp effectively at that level, and so it doesn't learn it. You could relearn it, but you would have to go all the way to Blackthorn, and I don't go to Blackthorn in this run, and it's just not worth the extra several minutes that it would take to get the Heart Scale and then go to Blackthorn to find the move relearner to then teach Waterfall. To teach Dragon Dance, especially given it would have to take up an extra slot as well. So just flying to Vermilion, and now we're going to do quite a few tweaks to get into Blue's Gym early. So the first tweak is just to skip a trainer. So this is a Void tweak. It is the tweak that I am always making fun of other people for messing up. So there is a lot of pressure on me to not mess up this tweak in this run, because I will be a mockery forever. Okay, I got it. Beautiful. Easy does. So that's loaded a Void over here. So what it's done is, there's a gentleman below me here, but I've actually loaded invisible walls so that he cannot see me, even though he should be able to. And so I just pass by his vision, reload the map, and then I'm on my way. Off we go. Whoa, please stop running into people. And then just going to cut across the water here. And then we're going to do Snorlax tweak. So you're supposed to get the radio card in Johto and then do this whole power plant section here to get it to work here so you can have a Poké Flute to wake up Snorlax. But instead what I'm going to do is a running tweak to deload Snorlax so I can just get right past it. Beautiful. That works. And so Snorlax is supposed to be chilling out here just before Diglett's cave, but he just ain't. He's gone. Should I get the max revive here? Yeah, whatever, I'll just get the max revive. And then there's one more tweak to get into Blue's Gym. And so this is one of the more bizarre tweaks in the run. It's the same pattern as a load tweak, but it's not about loading different chunks, this tweak. What happens is my height gets altered after doing the tweak. I also need to do a graphics reload before the tweak, otherwise the game will crash if I don't do this. I have forgotten before, so it's a good thing that I mentioned. Oh my goodness, get out of the way. Mentioned it now. So this is the graphics reload, and now I'm going to do here, and then I'm going to save right before the gym here. So now I'm one tile below, like I'm under that old man who's guarding the gym here. If I went up into that door in this position, the game would crash. But if I save and then reset and then move up, the game doesn't crash. It allows me to go through. I actually am not 100% sure of the reasoning for that, but that's what happens. That is just what happens. Deal. So you're not supposed to be able to get into Blue's Gym until you find him in Cinnabar and you get all of the other gym badges. And so there you go. I'll just walk into the gym. No worries. Yeah, it's supposed to only be the 16th gym badge, but if you do just get into the gym, he's just here, he's just chilling, and you can just fight him. So this is the second last fight of the run, as I've mentioned quite a few times. So this fight is very... I was going to say tricky, but then I realized that would be a pun, and that was unintended. So this is a very difficult fight. He uses Trick Room with Exeggutor. And so Trick Room makes it so that slower Pokemon are faster. My Gyarados is slow, but not slow enough for Trick Room to work for me. So I want to set up lots of X attacks. I need to go to at least +5 to be able to take out his pokes. And I need Trick Room to be down. So unfortunately, that generally doesn't work out, that you can set up all 5 and then just go. He's led Hypnosis though, instead of leading Trick Room. This is actually good. This gives me a chance for a 1 cycle. Now he's gone Trick Room. Okay. So now I want 1. Oh, and a miss. Beautiful. I'm going to get it. 2. And now it's 2 Leaf Storm hits, and then I can heal. $118, half of that, I'll live. Yep. And now I'm going to full restore to heal my health and the sleep. He's guaranteed to attack here. I mean, that's because I'm in kill range, but also I was asleep and Trick Room's already up, so yeah, he's guaranteed to attack anyway. There's Psychic. And now the Twisted Dimensions return to normal, and now I've got +5 and I can just attack. Beautiful. That could not have gone better. That was actually super lucky. He gave me the free turn on Hypnosis, and then he missed a Leaf Storm, and Leaf Storm's accuracy is 90. So getting one of those to miss was really, really lucky. I'm actually not sure what I'm going to do against his Gyarados. So you can use Strength and try and one-hit his Gyarados. It's not very likely, I think, with my attack. So it might be the better play to use Waterfall. Because if you don't one-hit him, then he just starts healing the Gyarados. So it's better to like 60% than 90% of his health. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And it's really nice to have a really high amount of health here, because so this Arcanine has Extreme Speed, for example. So if I only had 40 health here, Arcanine would pick Extreme Speed and just take me out in one hit. That Arcanine is actually faster than me, by the way, but it picked Roar. Because I've boosted my stats so many times, it's tried to use Roar, which is a decreased priority move. It always goes last. So I said I was going to Waterfall. I'm hoping for the flinch chance on Waterfall here, which is 20%. He's going Dragon Dance. I'm going to Waterfall again. Yep, okay. Didn't get the flinch, but I didn't hit him into heal range, which is fine. I don't think Pidgeot can do that much damage. 83? Question mark? No, I don't think it can. We're going to find out. I'm just going to attack. Nah, it went for Whirlwind. So that Pidgeot is also faster than me, but it picked Whirlwind. It tries to phase me out as well. Decreased priority, so I went first. So that blue fight was actually very, very, very good. I'm very happy with that. Okay, and so now there's only one fight left, and it's red, the big kahuna. So I do not have a very good Gyarados for red. Not a good Gyarados at all. I have really bad speed. My attack's not great, and my defense is actually too high. So what I mean by my defense being too high is, so you can't set up fully on Pikachu. There are 3 different Pokemon that Red can send out second after you take out Pikachu. He can either send out Lapras, Venusaur, or Snorlax, and it depends on what your stats are. The best one to set up on is Lapras, but the only way to get it is if your defense is 111 or lower, and you use an X Special Defend. It's the only way it can happen. And my defense is higher than 111, so I cannot get Lapras. I can only get Snorlax or Venusaur, depending on what I do with boosting my stats. Which is a bit of a shame. I also have a male, so I can't use Attract. So yeah, red could be a bit of a struggle. So from this point onwards, whether I'm underestimate by quite a bit, or whether I somehow go over, all depends on red, and it can be either. So from this point in the run, it could be less than 10 minutes until I finish. A good red split will do that. I have also been in a position that I'm sure was a couple of minutes faster than what I am right now, and I died to red 11 times in a row, and I went over what my estimate is here. It was like 2:49 was my final time. The red split was like 40 minutes, something like that. So a lot can go wrong on this last fight. It's very much far from over. So I'm going to fly to Victory Road. So yeah, Oak thinks I've got all 16 badges because I beat Blue. Because it's just the flag for when you beat Blue, because they think that has to be the 16th badge. He's like, yo, you've got all 16 badges, have Rock Climb, and now you can go fight Red. So now I have Rock Climb, and I have something that can learn Rock Climb, so I'm going to go fight Red. I don't think I'm going to get the extra rare candy here. It's not going to help me at all. I think I'm guaranteed to take Pikachu out at level 62. I need to teach Rock Climb. Teach Rock Climb. Thank you. To Geodude over here. And now we've just got to traverse Mount Silver, and then we're going to go off to Red. I am going to save before Red, though. Like, I pretty much always save before Red. Because I only do this category pretty much exclusively as a race. We actually have a really nice racing community around the manipulous categories of this game. We've been doing like weeklies for months. I actually think a couple of the lads are actually racing along with me now, me doing my marathon run. So shout outs to Tucker and Lime and anyone else who's going along with them. Hopefully you're doing worse than me. Yeah, I'm not a nice guy. Sorry about that. Yeah. So there's only... Yeah, I've got enough revives. I'm all set up. I've got everything that I need. Let's just save before red and hope for good luck. Oh yeah, so with red as well, we set the date to the 1st of January. There's a few days in this game where it doesn't hail on the red fight. Generally it does hail, and hail's really bad. It just makes you take 1/16 of your damage every turn. Because you're not an ice type, and that's absolutely awful. It takes so much text. Like, the health is bad, but the text is just as bad. But there's a few dates where that doesn't happen. So it's like 1st of January, 29th of February, 15th of March, 10th of October, and 31st of December. All have non-hail on red. There's some things floating around about certain dates having lower encounters in Gen 4 as well. This is a Gen 4 game, but that does not happen in this game. That only happens in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. The 1st of January is a lower encounter rate on those dates. But that's not why I do it. It's for the hail. Or for the non-hail, I guess. The Diamond Dust is what it's called. So this is the room with red. We're just going to go up to him. Repel might wear off before I get there. Yep. Then I'm going to switch Shucky to the lead. And then I'm going to save. 213 at the moment. Okay. So saving does take a little bit, but hopefully it's not too bad. That was actually a very quick save. Cool. Now we're going to go into the fight. Okay, so there are so many things that can go wrong here, as I mentioned. Like, every single Pokemon that he has can just destroy you, except for Charizard. Charizard's a piece of cake. Now that I've said that, Charizard's going to kill me, isn't it? So it goes the quick attack. Hopefully I live this. Wow, it got the 1/16. Instant death. Try again. Very cool. Why is this not starting? What? Hello? Yeah, I'm going to have to manually reset. I don't know what just happened there. I assume the cartridge has come loose, actually. So this is going to be this is a 3DS issue. This is an attack issue. I'm just waiting for it to turn back on. This takes quite a while. Yeah, it's the cart. 1 sec. Ignore all of the other stuff on my 3DS. Hello. This is not what I was expecting to happen. There we go. Hello. I meticulously planned so many backup saves in case the game crashed, but if the game just doesn't load, it doesn't matter that I have backup saves. Ugh. Every marathon run. Okay. Hopefully the save is still there. It should be, yep. Go right back into this. Hopefully I don't get that 1/16 roll again. But so, for this strat to work, there has to be that 1/16 chance, because if there isn't, then he won't pick Quick Attack. He'll just use any of his other attacks on Shuckle, and he'll just kill Shuckle. And that's just no good. So it's, you go Encore, hopefully live this time, surely. Oh my god! So he got the 1/16 twice, so that's 1/256. At least the game started this time. Oh my god. Okay. I will live this time. I am making a declaration. It will not happen a third time. This is like the least likely chance for anything to happen, because that 1/16, like I said, it is the same chance as just getting crit. And there's so many times when you're setting up with Gyarados where you can just get crit and die instantly. God! Loving humans would not enjoy that. That is incredible. Okay. It's actually pretty ridiculous that that's happened 3 times in a row. Oh my god. I promise you this is a good strat. I really promise you this is a good strat. Okay. Encore. Live. Thank you! Okay, so now I'm gonna heal Gyarados, take Shuckle out, and now I get at least 2 turns of Pikachu just using Quick Attack on Gyarados, and I'm gonna use those to go for 2x speeds. I'm not sure whether I should go for Defend or Special Defend first. Okay, he's still going, so we'll go Special Defend, I think, is the right play. Okay, and it's ended. So I'll get Snorlax, I believe. Good, that killed. I think I can just defend and Snorlax won't do 75. It'll be very close. I think its max roll will be something like 73. Got the defense drop, that's a shame. So I'm going to have to pump that X defend again. If it gets another defense drop here, I'm basically screwed. Crunch is 20% chance to get the defense drop. He could also just not use Crunch on this turn. Shadow Ball, beautiful. Okay, so we'll go X defend again. Do not def drop me. That's a crit. There's a crit. I am dead. Should I continue? I only have 1x speed. Oh my goodness. I can still win, but it's going to be interesting. This is actually the only way that I could die to Charizard, interestingly enough. Because I've got enough revives, I can set up again, and setting up on Snorlax now after the max revive will actually be easier because Gyarados' ability Intimidate is going to reduce Snorlax's attack. Will it go Blizzard first? I think it should, right? Yep. And so now I'll go to defense. And now I'll go. Should I use any X speed? If I'm not gonna outspeed anything. I actually don't think I should use it at all. 2x attacks. I'm gonna try and go off 4, I guess. Heal there. I only use 1 Spedef and 1 Def. This is it's really hard to commentate on this fight. I've got to run through all of the possible scenarios. This is also a very weird position that I'm in right now, where I'm not going to be faster than everything. I have no idea what I'm going to do. Blizzard miss, thank you. That's 4. How many Blizzards has he used? That missed as well. If he runs out of Blizzards, he can start using Giga Impacts. Giga Impact won't one-hit me though, because I've got the plus Def and his minus attack. So even if he picks it, it's not that big a deal. Def Drop. That's not a big deal. Snorlax is the one who hits hardest on physical attack. I'll be at neutral and +1. I can take a hit from Lapras. I can take a hit from Venusaur. Should I flail? No. I'm gonna Earthquake. Blizzard miss. Beautiful. Oh! Lapras is outspeeding me. Okay, maybe I should have X-Sped. Fine, it's not a big deal. That did not do enough. I need a 5th X attack. I could have used Flail, actually. I could have done that. Because Blizzard could hit me into Flail to do enough. Frozen Solid, but that's fine because I'm about to heal. I definitely can still win. I've got all of everything that I want set up. It's just that I'm going to be another Blizzard miss. That is lucky. I'm going to be slower than Venusaur and Blastoise and Charizard. I actually don't even know how much damage Charizard does because I've never been in the position where I'm slower and he actually does damage to me. Blastoise is good. Another Blizzard miss. This is very, very good. That's another thing with Hail. Blizzard always hits in Hail. Getting these 30% misses, which is very, very nice. Okay, that one hits. Oh, that's not... Oh, yes! Okay. Usually the freeze doesn't matter too much because you're faster, and so if they just freeze you, you just use a full restore. But because I'm slower, that could have actually cost me pretty bad. I am going to use another Speeder, because I think Venusaur is going to do over 80 at +1, but at +2 it won't. Correct. And then we'll heal. Need to hit Venusaur twice and Charizard once. So Venusaur should do more like 65 now. Use Giga Drain, that'll do less. It's going Sleep Powder. See, this is a big problem. Got 3 bullies. Because I can't just instantly wake up if it goes for Sleep Powder like that. Okay, there's no Sleep Powder, that's good. That did about 61. I think you can use Frenzy Plant here. I'm going to heal. I actually think... Because usually you never see Frenzy Plant because you're faster than him, and he shouldn't use it until you damage him. But I just realized that he might use it. I also was... Use Sleep Powder? Why? Okay, that's very odd. But I mean, I just would have been asleep, so that's actually kind of fine. There's Sludge Bomb. Okay, we'll just attack. Sludge Bomb. I don't think Charizard can do 70. I'm just gonna risk it. It should be fine. I don't think it'll do it. Oh, it's got Flare Blitz. That'll do more than 70. It's alright, got revives. Still got a couple. It's all good. I'll still win. Actually, will I? This will reduce his attack. Flare Blitz will do less. I think if I X Sped F, he'll do less than half, and then I can heal. Yep. I don't know how many X attacks I need to kill. This is the problem. It might be better to just use 2 waterfalls and just 2 hit him. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I've got enough. Because I think it'll 2-hit. Air Slash can also flinch here. That's bad. I could also run out of healing items here. Because that's my last Hyper Potion. I've only got 2 full restores left. So if I get flinched twice more, I'm boned. Because if I'm out of healing items, there's nothing I can do. That's a crit. Dead. Yeah, I don't think I can win now. I think I have to crit to kill. Because it's got to be Sped F again, full restore again. Oh no, I can still win. I can still win. If everything still goes correctly, I can still win. This is assuming Waterfall 2 hits, which I actually have no idea if it does. Okay, Air Slash. I live. Dragon Pulse, okay. Okay, I think I can use another Sped F and then live the next Air Slash. picked Dragon Pulse. He must be out of Air Slashes, because I've been sitting here for so long. So now I use my last full restore. And now with the extra Sped F, I should be able to tank 3 hits, and I can get 2 waterfalls off. Oh, he's still got Air Slash. Oh dear. Okay, I can still tank another Air Slash though. Please do half. Yes, that looks good. Do not flinch. Bro, don't flinch me. Yes! That's gonna kill. Easy. And time. Okay, so thanks for watching that run. I hope you enjoyed the chaos. But I think that was a pretty good showing off of what this run is. It is very chaotic towards the end. You do have to adapt on the fly quite a lot. Ideally not quite as much as that. But you do get to see, you know, you do have, yeah, to adapt to all these different strats. I've never done anything like that before, but we pulled it out. We got the win. It was good. It definitely would have been underestimate because I didn't die that many times. So, all good.
You were stuff.